Call to order. City of Cape May Historic Preservation Commission. April 20th, 2026. It is now 6:01. In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. If any member has reason to believe that this meeting is being held in violation of this act, they should state so at this time. Hearing none, whoever could join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Could we have a roll call vote, please, Lauren?
Mr. Becker?
Here.
Mr. Testa?
Here.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Ms. Pisagno? Ms. Wilson-Stridick? Mr. Stevenson?
Present.
Ms. Decker?
Present.
Mr. Hammerin? Mr. Kurtz?
Okay, so with regard to the minutes, everybody, I believe, has received a copy of the revised minutes from, that Mr. Testa had edited. I would like to entertain a motion to approve those minutes for the February 9th, 2026 meeting.
So move.
Do I hear a second? Second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin? Yes. Mr. Kurtz? Yes. Mr. Testa?
I'm sorry, did you call me?
Mr. Testa?
Wow. Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Same thing for the March 16th, 2026 meeting minutes. Anybody make a motion to approve those?
I'll second.
So moved by Mr. Hammerin, seconded by Ms. Decker. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin? Yes. Mr. Kurtz? Yes. Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. And lastly, the meeting minutes from the April 2nd HPC special meeting. Those minutes have also been submitted to all of you. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those as well, please.
I'll make that.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Ms. Decker. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin? Yes. Mr. Kurtz? Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Okay, we also have received an invoice, payment of our bills to Chris Gill and Schwartz Law LLC. You've all reviewed. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the payment of that bill, please.
First, meeting,
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
Motion,
Re-objecting?
motion, sorry.
Seconded over here.
All right, so moved.
Happy hour tonight, huh?
So moved by Mr. Stevenson, seconded by Mr. Testa. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin? Yes. Mr. Kurtz? Yes. Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. There you go. So there are on our agenda 5 resolutions to ratify 230 Grant Street, Cape May. Resolution 2026-09. Mazzatelli, 397 Congress Street. Resolution 2026-10. TS 1005 Beach LLC. 1015 Beach. Resolution 2026-11. Kevin Severance, 722 Corgi Street LLC. Resolution 2026-12. And TS 1015 Beach Avenue again for conceptual approval.
Mr. Chairman, in the package, there also was Resolution 2026-13 relating to East Lynn. Is that intended to be on the agenda?
I believe it is. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, so that also would be number 6 for ratification is Resolution 2026-13 for East Lynn Theater. Entertain a motion to approve and ratify these resolutions, please.
So moved.
So, second? So moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Hammond. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes, I abstain from East Lynn.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin? Yes. Mr. Kurtz? Mr. Testa?
Yes, but an abstention on 2613.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. So, folks, we have on our agenda a very, very long agenda tonight. However, I have some good news. There are 2 folks who agreed that they would postpone their application and push it off to May. So if you look at your agenda, The project Shell Cottage 908 LLC will be moved to May, as well as O'Connor, 1226 Lafayette Street. And lastly, applications approved and denied in review. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at that list? If so, entertain a motion to approve applications approved and denied in review.
Everybody seems very shy tonight. Second the motion.
Moved by Mr. Hammer and seconded by Mr. Testa. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll.
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson.
Yes.
Ms. Decker.
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin. Mr. Kurtz. Mr. Testa.
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes. So given that we have such a long agenda, the HPC by ordinance will not start any new applications after 9:30 PM, nor take any new testimony beyond 10 PM. However, this rule can be waived by an affirmative vote of the majority of the commission, who are then present and qualified. And if we need to do that, we can see what happens at 9:30. Hopefully, we can move forward pretty quickly, so I'd like to ask everybody to be as succinct as possible with their comments this evening. Okay, so what most of you may recall is a little bit over a year ago, we all had an alignment workshop with all of us as commissioners, and what we came up with was a purpose statement for our work here at HPC, and in order to establish the energy in the room, I'd like to read that. So the purpose of HPC's work is to serve as a catalyst for guiding and valuing Cape May's historical, cultural, and natural resources in ways that inspire and unite our community to steward these resources for the benefit of all, so that present and future generations continue to express the unique quality of life we share in this place we love. Okay, so on to new business. Our first application this evening is by Joseph, I may mispronounce this, Hillegas? Joseph Hillegas and Mary Ellen Turner at 25 Gurney Street. If you could please come up and state your name and your role in the project.
Make sure that you turn that on.
Good evening. My name is Louis DeLasso. I'm the architect for the project. I believe Ms. Turner sent an email authorizing me to discuss this project for you tonight, for her.
Terrific.
Do you want to swear me in, or?
So the floor is yours.
Okay. I'll be as brief as possible. Basically, it's the property at 25 Gurney Street. We're looking at restoring the front porch that has been enclosed with windows and engulfing the existing columns. We're looking at taking that all down, and we're looking at replacing the windows on the outside, on the entire structure. The windows, I have two alternatives for the windows, but we're looking at either the Marvin windows that are all wood, or the Anderson is an alternate divided light windows, 6/6, to match what's there. The front landing and steps will be removed. When we take down the chimney inside, at the rear of the house, the existing chimney, we're going to reuse those bricks to rebuild part of the fireplace and also rebuild the front steps to what they are. If you ever get a chance to take a look at the front steps, you'll see remnants of the old brick steps underneath of it. We're looking at restoring those steps. I might add as well, we've stripped the entire inside of the house, and it's a mess in terms of structural framing, and that'll be corrected, but that I know has nothing to do with the HPC, but we will restore the house completely that way. That's it. Thank you.
So I just have one quick question to kick us off here. The cut sheet on the windows states that the 400 series windows you're proposing are vinyl exterior?
Correct. To match the white that's there right now. We would but wood on the inside.
But would you be willing to use the exterior primed wood windows as opposed to vinyl clad?
Yes.
Okay, so if we could start over here with Mr. Kurtz. Any questions?
No, I like the removal of that front enclosed front porch, and have new porch put on there, and second floor down, it's a very nice project.
Thank
I agree with Chairman
I think the project looks wonderful, but I just have a question on the second floor porch on the front of the property. Off of bedroom number 5, I'm assuming that the porch is going to be in the front of that?
Yes.
Which is not shown on here. Okay, so the center part of it, it looks like a wall, but it's actually going to be a door, am I correct?
There is a door there
It-
that's about 14 inches above the finished floor. You have to step up to it.
Oh, okay,
It's kind of strange.
okay. The existing door is going to remain, you're not,
That's going to have to be replaced. All of the wood, all of the windows on the entire, and doors are going to be replaced. They have to be.
okay. Okay, I was just a little confused with the second floor plan. And, Mr. Chairman, that's all my questions at this point. Thank you.
I'm aware of the condition of the house, and I'm glad to see it's really happening and happening in a beautiful way.
Thank you.
I don't know that I can be that short. But I will say this, although we didn't have a survey in here, this is listed as a non-contributing property.
I do have the surveys.
No, I'm sorry, I meant the survey we make of it.
It's not on the register. I asked about that, and I checked with Lauren, and we couldn't find any evidence of it.
Yeah, it's not been surveyed?
We don't have a survey.
Yeah, well, it's listed as non-contributing, and I'm going to go along with that as listed in our agenda. Your materials check sheet is in complete compliance with everything that we need for a non-conforming, excuse me, a non-contributing structure. And I'll reiterate what people said. The opening of the porch and the use of the brick is a definite improvement to the front of the house. It really greatly improves it, and it's something I can support.
Thank you.
So one clarification is it's not non-contributing. We do not have a property report. So it's
Non-rated.
neither. Yeah.
Non-rated.
Okay, non-rated.
Okay, I agree with Mr. Testa that there was no survey in there, so we didn't know whether it was contributing or non-contributing.
Yes.
But I mean, looking at it, it's a great improvement. Opening up that enclosed porch is a big deal for the streetscape, so nice job.
Thank you.
I have nothing additional. I also think it's very appropriate to open the porch. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Sorry, what is the date of construction of the original house? Do you know?
Ooh,
Well,
Approximate?
it would have been after 1911, when the Stockton Hotel that occupied 4 blocks in that area was torn down. So everything in that 4-block area is after that. So you're probably looking at like 1920 as the,
the porcelain posts would reinforce that are in there, and the old plumbing that's in there. But as I said, they butchered some of the structural members that they have to be repaired.
yeah, yeah.
So then I guess I would make the assumption it probably is contributing, and, it just doesn't happen to have a property report that's been done. So at some point, in the future, we'll have one.
If it is, then the Trex deck is not appropriate.
That's correct. That's what I was trying to get to, is in my own mind, to figure out where
I'm going to
this
call
house
it non-rated, so to me, it's not contributing.
got plopped down, yeah.
Thank
So
you.
I think there are two things that in the package that I hope we can just reach a quick agreement on. One is, as John mentioned, the vinyl outside windows. On a contributing property, it would have to be all wood with a divided or a simulated divided light. I believe you've already said that's okay. And the Trex decking, which is, I don't know what Trex decking is. Is that
That's the simulated wood
It's plastic.
plastic decking. for lack- It's a vinyl, polyvinyl, whatever you want to call it, but it's all impregnated with the colors. The top deck is a waterproof membrane.
Okay, so that,
Right now, it's metal.
if you're not tearing that up, then that's what's there. There's no reason to change that at the moment. But the Trex decking would not be appropriate for a contributing house. So you could go to, any kind of a solid wood material that you choose that, would be compatible with that kind of an age of a house.
Is there consideration, do you think there would be consideration for it becoming contributing once this project is completed?
I think, that's going to be an interesting question. I'm not sure that we have an answer for that one, but
Well, I wouldn't want to put Trex down and then have it
I
become
understand.
contributing. That's,
None of us have the expertise to rate this property until it's actually
Right.
surveyed, but you wouldn't be hurting yourself by putting in an all-wood deck.
I will discuss that
Just like
with
you were
the
going to
owner,
put in
yes.
all-wood windows that are primed on the outside. You would not hurt the rating.
I will definitely discuss that with the owner.
Conversely, if you put down Trex and and it is rated as a contributing property and anything happens that you have to replace that deck, then it would have to be pulled up in its entirety and replaced with wood. So
Understood.
I'd say you couldn't, as it was just said, you couldn't hurt yourself by going to an all-wood deck.
Okay.
All right?
So given that the house is, oh, I'm sorry, are you done?
I think so. That's it.
Okay. So given that the house on all sides is surrounded by contributing properties and the streetscape along Gurney there, it would be highly appropriate for the wood windows to be exterior wood primed and for the deck to be wood as opposed to Trex. Would you be willing to do that?
I would have to discuss that with the owner. I have no problem with it. I think it's a good idea,
Okay.
but I will make the statement, I will definitely confer with her and him, and if they agree, I will notify the board.
What's the approximate deck area that you'd be covering with that right now?
It's about 12 by the width of the house, so maybe about 250 square feet, plus or minus.
Right, so we'd be talking
not-
about the difference of 250 square feet between Trex, which is not particularly
And/or
cheap,
teak.
and wood.
Yeah, some kind of external wood. Agreed.
So I would like to move that we approve this application with two conditions. One is exterior wood prime windows, and the second is wood decking.
I agree.
I'll
I hear-
second that motion.
Moved by Mr. Becker, seconded by Mr. Carroll. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz? Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Short and sweet.
Have a short night.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you. It's not really. Next on our agenda, please, Gift of the Thistle LLC, 325 Washington Street. Good evening. If you could please state your name and your role in the project.
Danny Uffelman, I'm one of the owners with my wife here.
Amanda Adams. I'm one of the owners.
Terrific. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We are here asking approval for the installation of fabric awnings above ground level windows, replacement of current hanging wood sign with new carved wood sign, and replacement of current cast aluminum lettering with new cast aluminum lettering.
So this is a fairly straightforward submission. Rather than going around the room, I think I'd just like to ask if anybody has any questions or comments. Mr. Carroll?
I'm assuming that your sign you're putting up is this sign here, not this sign, Jackson and Perry. Is that another sign that's that big?
Correct. So at our current building, we're replacing it with the same exact size or smaller, the lettering that is there. Currently, it says Queen May across the front in the same exact material.
So that will be, what will go there to replace that?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. Does that meet the sign standards for size and everything?
Yes, I actually spoke to Bruce prior to coming here, and he said just make sure that it stays the same size or smaller and everything's good.
Okay. And this picture is the picture you want to show us of the awnings that you're putting on?
That is relatively exactly kind of what we're going for, yes. We're going to do as best as we can to make it look that well.
As much as ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, you know how it is.
I think it's really
when you
tough.
try and make it look perfect, that's a computer image.
It did bring it a little bit towards the door and the back, but it's just on the ground level windows.
So you're representing that they're going to be substantially similar to what we're seeing?
Exactly.
Okay.
And you did provide cut sheets of both the materiality of the awnings as well as the aluminum letters, as well as the two carved wooden signs.
Correct.
Great. Any other comments, questions?
Just have one comment, or question, actually. Where is this going to be placed?
Right
This is-
underneath the red sign. You can barely see the little fish swimming in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I missed that.
It's just hidden because it's all white behind it.
Which means, Lorraine, it's not too big.
Okay,
I just had a comment.
Got it.
The
Okay.
new color scheme, I mean, it really brings the building alive.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Pink, beautiful.
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was my question. So this is what the building is, you're hoping will look exactly like this?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's going from dark to light.
And hi, Judy.
You know how I feel about that. I think it looks appropriate, and I like the awnings also, the striped awnings. They're appropriate for the time period of the building.
It's a key improvement to that corner. That's a very visible corner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We thought very coastal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very coastal.
Thank you.
So, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve this project.
This is an easy one. Move to approve the application as submitted.
I'll second.
So moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Kurtz. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin?
We can't hear you with the red light on.
Yeah.
Mr. Kurtz? Yes. Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Thank you very much. Very nice submission.
Thank you, guys.
Very much, guys.
Next on our agenda is Yacht Harbor Estates at 1505 Yacht Avenue. Worth mentioning here, folks, is that this submission is identical in all respects but one to the submission that these folks made and received a resolution of final approval for on February 6, 2023. So it is beyond the two-year timeframe, and what the project is proposing is, as I believe, one revision to the balconies facing the water. Is that correct?
Correct.
So if you could please state your name, your role in the project.
Yeah, so I'm Joseph Scarpa, architect for the Highland Group. I'm representing Yacht Harbor Estates LLC, and this is again the Yacht Harbor Marine project. This site actually has one existing two-story.
One quick question. You have the authorization of the owner to,
Absolutely.
okay,
And there was record of that via email.
There's an email sent.
great,
Yes.
thank you.
Oh,
It was on.
actually.
You
yeah,
just were speaking
that's what I
very
said. It
softly.
just seems like, you hear me? Yeah, there it goes. I gotta be closer. Yeah. All right, so there's an existing two-story building on this site, and what's proposed is actually two three-story townhouse buildings. There's one three-unit southern site, on the southern site on Yacht Harbor Ave, and a four-unit on the northern site on the water. I believe that is Schlesinger Creek that it looks at. Like I said, this is actually a non-contributing site in the Cape May Historic District. Again, as John mentioned, his project was approved on February 6, 2023, followed by zoning and site plan approvals. Permits were pulled in that year and is currently under construction. And I'm aware of the two-year goal that we're setting aside. But as a request, again, the minor revision we're looking at is the decks. If you don't mind, I want to hand out these. These will help illustrate.
Yes, we don't count.
You and I just stepped.
Thank you, John.
Mr. Scarpa,
Yes.
just to confirm this additional exhibit that wasn't in the packet before, this is a rendering of the plans that you submitted just to show for comparison service.
Correct,
purposes before
yes. So
and after,
the
right?
first one you see in the front is what is proposed as of right now with the rear deck revision. The focus obviously on the building in the foreground, that represents that. And the one behind it is what was approved prior. So my goal is actually to focus on this change. What happens is actually on the third floor. If you can see in the existing building, approved in February 6, 2023, you can see the decks on the third floor are roughly 9 feet wide by 10 foot deep within that building footprint there. And the new one shows a larger, approximately, the outside corners are a little over 20, the insides are a little under 20 feet wide by 10 foot deep. They have like a 5-foot cantilever that comes out towards the rear. If you can see, we feel that this is more aesthetically pleasing than what was presented prior. If you can see the whole balconies, I did break them up so that it's not just one continuous, see like a hotel or would appear, to try to stay within some respect of the individual makeup of the unit, breaking it down. It's divided, there's brackets between the two. If we need more clarity than what I provided, I know I submitted a lot because this was for a full approval. But if we want to look at the 4-unit townhouse submission, A103 is actually focusing on that 3rd floor, and A201 focuses on the rear elevation. Now, please keep in mind, the 3-unit building is completely as unchanged as previously submitted. And with this one, all materials, cuts, sheets that were submitted are all still staying the same. Nothing's being changed. It's merely these decks have gotten larger and broken up for appearance and aesthetic benefits.
Okay. Shall we start over with you, Kevin, please?
Sure. The first, just a question, the first floor level is different in the rendering of the prior approved and the proposed?
This is.
Is that just a change in the rendering? And there's
Oh, yes, so the rendering, I see what you're saying. So the rendering, because this was last minute, I was trying to get this together, so it's just a depiction. Some of the things that may not appear, and obviously between the two, is the color of the doors. They're as they should be, which is the mahogany, that we're looking for mahogany and glass doors that are in the cut sheets. Also the brick tends to be a little more brownish, while we have the more orange, reddish and white type of brick in the cut sheet as well.
Okay.
The windows too, or is that, if you look at the prior approved rear deck, that first floor above the garage, looking doors, the fenestration of the windows is,
So on the 3rd floor, you're saying?
no, I'm saying on the first floor. If you look at that first floor, it looks like 3 windows, and then deck, 3 windows, deck, 3 windows. And if you look at the prior approved, it's little window, 3 windows, 3 windows, and then
So yes, we felt that arrangement of the 3 windows, again, is more aesthetically pleasing, because when those decks grew in size, you know, they were really, the previous ones were relative to the smaller decks and its organization. This helps break it up and stacks the windows a little better to find some organization with the larger decks. So yes, that did get modified as well.
Also, I had a question regarding the windows. On your original plan, they were just 1/1. Now it looks like you were making them 4/1.
Yeah, 4/1. Felt that again was a way better aesthetic presence. Even though it's on the rear, it's not seen by the road, it is seen as you come into Cape May, so we felt that was more important.
Could you explain what the glass is on the larger deck, 2nd floor deck?
The glass is, yeah, so the larger doors that are, those are just larger windows to gain more views, obviously, to the water.
Are they all doors or the windows?
They're full-size, well, there's basically doors that open up, picture larger ones that go, so 2 of the ones on the ones that are on the corner where you see 4 panes, those are 2 operable doors in the middle, followed by 2 fixed panes on the outside, and in the center, the one is operable.
Mr. Scarpa, you have checked here conceptual. Do you anticipate having to go back to the board, zoning board or planning board?
We know part of this process involves zoning, and that has to take place. So because these decks were enlarged, they affect what would be like floor area ratio and such. So they have to, yes, because they got bigger, so they're covering a little more ground space, so they have to go back to get some type of zoning board approval, whether it's, I believe we're going for administrative approval. So once we get that, I realize that we have to come back to get final approval.
Okay, so all you, just to confirm, you anticipate having to make a trip to the board one way or the other, and you're coming here
Correct.
asking for conceptual approval for this modification?
Correct. By result of what the historic board requires.
I have a quick question. And you did kind of allude to it a little bit. As you're coming into Cape May, you see the back side of that building from the dock area.
Correct.
Just concerned, I mean, you have a garage door with, nothing, you can't get a vehicle in there. Just concerned with, not so much concerned, but why did you choose to put garage doors in there versus other types of doors?
Well, first off, that was one of the approvals we got approved for when we first
Prior.
submitted. Secondly, I think even though they are garage doors, the aesthetic is made to look kind of like they're two separate doors in a way. So we tried to give some respect rather than just being an overhead door that has somewhat of a carriage-type feel to it. But we know that garage doors wouldn't be, I mean, it's not the front of the building where.
The other side has the
Yeah.
garage doors as well.
Yes.
Will those garage doors be opening out onto open space that looks like a nice grass front yard? Or is that grass part of the free water return to the ground that is required in that area?
Oh, you mean whether it's impervious coverage or such like that? So currently, right now, that rear of that yard, it has a lot of landscaping that's proposed in the rear yard, and there's a walkway that follows the bulkhead in that space. The idea is that garage could open, there wouldn't be so much a patio out there. It'd be areas to be able to move in and move out things, whether or not you have kayaks and things like that, that would be relative for use. It's more for storage purposes and be able to access quicker to the backyard, a convenience for the user of the home.
Okay.
I like the design when it was first presented and we approved it. I like it even a little more now with the extended and expanded deck. So the only thing is I'm getting a little confused as to how many changes have actually been made. Windows, doors, and the deck. So that's, if
So the only changes have really been on that elevation, correct?
On that rear elevation, that's the only thing that's been modified.
I'm fine. I think it's a small improvement.
I agree that it's an improvement. It reinforces the 4 units, increase the fenestration window-to-wall ratio. I think it's very nice, thank you.
One quick question. The garage doors, they open out? They don't?
No, it is an overhead door in reality. Yes.
Because I'd like to look, it looks like a boathouse look now. So,
On that
Except there's no boats in front of it.
yes,
It's a nice point.
inside.
On that note, I did like the original plan they submitted maybe 5 years ago that had a clad and cedar shake. And I mean, I like this design, but I just bemoan the fact that that disappeared because it really would have helped it blend in with the boathouses that you just mentioned.
We're still presenting it as cedar shake
Yeah.
on the roof, metal
I mean,
roof
they-
seam.
The exterior walls on the sides were in the original.
Oh, yeah, they're, yes, right, they're clapboard.
But I like this too.
I'm a little concerned with the big banks of sliders. Are you going for a variance for the zoning board?
No, it's not really a variance per se. It's just we have to update it because there won't be any variances. It's just, there's plenty of floor area ratio allowed on that, and actually impervious coverage allowed on that site. It's just that we have to represent it because of that modification.
I agree, it definitely looks nicer. Next, when you come back, please make sure you include these 3D renderings in your packet, because we
Okay.
didn't have them. It's a little hard to look at things.
Look at them in last minute, I understand.
And it would be helpful if you include the neighborhood buildings in them as well, what's around it, because it doesn't exist in a void this way.
John, can I make one more comment? The comment was made, the garage doors that are shown here kind of give you the boathouse look, and I agree with that. That's actually a pretty good comment about it. And that it was only, that's what we approved. My only comment is we would have only approved what you submitted, so, I guess that's the way they were originally intended to look. The one caution I would just raise is, that's a garage that basically runs from one end of the building to the other. So I can see a situation where at some point in the future, one of the homeowners is going to want to change that and put in a room down there or something like that. Now you won't have that nice little row of garage doors anymore. You'll have, sliders or windows or something else. So that is an area that could wind up changing.
This is a condominium form of ownership.
Correct.
Good luck.
I don't know.
Is there a reason for the metal roofs on the shed roof dormers?
Well, I think the biggest thing is because there's such low slope, metal really handles that the best. The alternatives are less aesthetically pleasing.
Okay. Shall we entertain a motion for conceptual approval?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? So moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Mr. Kurtz. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz? Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Thank you, and we'll see you for final approval.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Welcome. Next on our agenda, please, is the Shell Cottage, which has been moved to May. So we'll skip that one and on to Bray Family Partnership, 720 Washington Street.
I'm good. Oh, yeah. It's a balance issue more than anything else.
Good evening, Mr. Chair.
Good evening. If you could all please state your name and your role in the project,
I
please.
will, yes. John Amenhauser. I'm an attorney with the DeWeese Law Firm on behalf of the applicants, Bray Family Partnership.
Welcome.
Barbara Wild?
Hamilton Wild?
Paul Cates with Cates Schneider Engineering, the project engineer.
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the board will most likely recall, we were here before this body, I guess a few months ago at this point in time, related to a proposal for providing off-street parking within what was the front yard of the Southern Mansion property at 720 Washington Street. That is the property that's subject to this application. At the time, there was parking proposed along the entire frontage of the yard and up onto the side through the use of grass pavers. I believe the amount of parking that was proposed at the time was roughly around 55 spaces. Although I wasn't here at the meeting, I know that it met with, obviously, a lot of backlash at that point, to the point where the applicants decided to table and go back to the drawing board to try to come up with something that was more in line with the historic design standards and aesthetically pleasing to try to preserve the streetscape as much as possible. The plan that Paul has shown on his board there, and which was submitted through a revised application, does in fact downsize to a fairly large degree the amount of off-street parking spaces that are being proposed and the location of those off-street parking spaces through the revised plan. Paul, if you wouldn't mind, can go into a little detail as to how the plans have changed and what is being proposed now on this property.
So essentially, we reduced the proposed parking down to 10 parking spaces. We pulled all 10 of those spaces back behind the building line of the main portion and the oldest portion of the building. It's obviously still in front of the addition.
Paul, sorry, could you use your microphone?
Sorry. So we pulled all that parking back behind the main building line of the old part of the building. While we removed all the parking that was in front of the building. And then to kind of delineate that parking, because we're still proposing the grass block pavers, so it'll still appear as grass, We surrounded it with a 2-foot red brick walkway, and we delineated the spaces with a slate, a gray slate, or a proposed gray slate line that would break up that red brick paving. And then beyond that, we added boxwoods to kind of enclose the area and give it a more garden-like feel. We also eliminated all of the proposed additional lighting standards, and we're proposing, which was also submitted, basically in-ground lighting, so it'll be all up lighting from in the ground. And then we did leave some additional space for some annuals or perennial flower plantings.
So Paul, just to touch on, because you touched on the plantings that are being provided, we're using grass pavers, right? We're still doing that?
Grass block pavers, yes, for the main parking area.
So, I mean, we're calling this a parking area because it is what it is, right? It's what we need it for. But when you're looking at what is being proposed from the streetscape, I mean, is it to you going to look more like a garden area as opposed to cement, concrete, asphalt parking area?
That was the goal, was to make it more garden-like than parking, so that when there isn't cars parked, obviously when there's cars parked there, it's going to look like parking. But when the cars are not there, it will appear more as a garden area.
And is it your opinion that that's more in line with the design standards and what the HPC guidelines are looking for in terms of yards, right, and gardens and
Yes.
yard areas? Mr. Chairman, I also have, if I can provide, I reached out to Mr. Gillenschwartz today to advise him I would be providing this to the board. This property and the approval process related to the existing configuration of the property goes back, at least under the current ownership, to 1995, when there were site plan applications filed, all the way up to 03, I believe, is the last application that I saw and received a resolution for related to the property. But the site plan that I have that was on file with the city back in 1995, in fact, shows, and I'll hand this out to everyone so you can see it. Chris, you mind if I mark this? Applicant's A1. There should be enough to go over. I got you. What you'll see on the plan, if you look on the Washington Street frontage, is a parking lot configuration. You'll see that there's 14 parking spaces that are situated there in that area. Those parking spaces are presently existing. They are made up of grass paver parking, so you can't see them, so it doesn't appear to the naked eye as a parking lot area, but in fact, they are an approved overflow parking area for the current building in that location.
Sorry, you're talking about the southwest corner here?
I am, yes.
Thank you.
So what we would be proposing to do through this application is to take that, if we were to utilize that existing area, I think a lot of the concerns of the board that were expressed at the last meeting really come to light, right? You're talking about turning in off Washington and really parking vehicles in front of that building, in front of the front facade of that existing historic building. What we were proposing as an alternate means of providing off-street parking, as is shown through Paul's current plan, is 10 spaces, which is 4 less than what's already there, all backed off behind the front facade of the historic structure. So I think that also alleviates another design concern on the historic design standards that was discussed at the last meeting, which was proposing parking that exceeded or protruded beyond the front facade of the existing building. We'd be doing away with that through the current configuration that's being proposed as well.
Great. So I think it's important to mention that the applicant came before us in a review committee after our, I think it was last meeting or 2 meetings ago, I can't remember, 2 meetings ago, I believe, and spent some time with us, and what they have come back with is almost exactly what we had discussed. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hammer.
I would say that, they came to see us at the Tuesday meeting, and, they heard, we're 2 votes. And, I don't know that, I have to say for the record, I don't know that they sold either of us on it, but they at least, came in with a proposal that scaled back some of the visibility of the parking as they had originally proposed. That's the way I think that it was left on that Tuesday. Here's my comments. I knew this would come back. I've had to think about this long and hard because, I certainly understand the business owners' desires to have adequate parking for their facility. At the same token, I also have to look at the historic nature of that structure and just the kind of the beauty that brings to Cape May. So here's what I came back with. First of all, on page 8 of our standards, it says HPC is charged with reviewing on-site parking. So clearly, this isn't our purview. Page 40 of the standards say that the Secretary of the Interior Standards preserve features of the building site that are important to the overall historic character of the setting. So with that in mind, I think that brings us to visibility, which is on page 12, able to be seen by any person standing in a public thoroughfare. Surely all of this area can be seen by anyone walking past the site. And lastly, locate new off-street parking to be as unobtrusive as possible. Locating off-street parking in front yards and visible side yards is not appropriate. So that's the standards in my mind that apply to this. And I just have to get that on the record.
The existing pavers that are in the lawn, would those be removed? The ones that are in front?
Before they get the new spots.
We could do that.
And what would the drive be like? You would be now utilizing this additional drive from Washington Street? What would that consist
So
of?
the plan would be in the area of the drive to leave those grass block pavers that are there and then utilize them to access. So we could remove the additional parking spaces, but we would leave the drive aisle as those existing grass block pavers. So that area would remain unchanged.
This is a key contributing building. It's a really important building. And the last point that Kevin brought up is very important. The grounds are mentioned several times in the long form. How many parking spaces already exist on this site
In total? Or-
right now?
So, go ahead.
Including the ones in the front is 38.
So you currently have 38 parking spaces?
Correct. So we have 24 in the two parking areas, Liberty and Jefferson, and then we have that additional 14 of overflow.
And what we'd be proposing is removing the 14 and reducing that to 10, pushed further back beyond the facade.
I understand.
So you would have no driveway in front of the structure, across the front of it.
No parking across the front of the structure at all, no.
And no driveway, correct.
Yes.
The only driveway access would be that existing grass block paver pathway from that secondary entrance on Washington.
I just wanted to say, we have to weigh, there's a cultural importance to this building besides architectural. And we do have similar properties in town, namely the Physic Estate, the Mainstay, Congress Hall. And one of the things they do in an educational purpose is they allow the public access to it, which currently, I believe it's fairly limited. So, I do think it's important to open it up to the public. I think it's good that you pushed it back so it's not immediately on the sidewalk. But I would also recommend that the existing parking on the Jefferson Street side would also have a landscape screening around it, because right now it's only going to be in those 10 new spots. Because it would add, when you look at it, you're going to see the landscaping, not cars on this side or that side.
In addition to the hedges.
In addition to the hedges?
On the
On the Jefferson Street
Yes,
side.
on the Jefferson Street side, you have 10 new ones, and you're going to have boxwoods around that. Is there a plan that would also screen the parking on the other side of the building on the Jefferson Street side?
I think there's a lot of existing mature landscaping there that we were just proposing.
There's a hedgerow there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's hedgerows
okay.
around.
Right,
You
yeah.
can't see.
But it may be considered that, you have matching hedgerows all around for balance as well, as opposed to just boxwoods on one side.
The hedgerows are Japonica euonymus, and they're about 200 years old.
Yeah.
And they're, I could easily grow them to 8 feet, but your rules are, I think, at 4. So we keep them, they're 8 foot wide.
That's for a
Huge
fence.
Buffer.
That's our fence.
At some point, we were given a notice that we need to cut the hedges
them so
lower.
they-
In,
cut the
in,
deck.
in Cape May, only man-made objects count as fences. Natural growth does not. It's a specific amendment to the ordinances.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be opposed to
No,
growing
no, I'm-
those out,
I'm-
as long
I'm-
as the
I'm not
city
there
didn't.
yet. I'll tell you when I get there.
Sure.
Are you finished yet?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt that this is an improvement from what we saw before. And I want to be clear that what I'm seeing. So what we're saying is that it's viewing this from Washington Street, essentially on the right-hand side of the main building. No parking comes forward of the front of that building.
Correct.
Okay. The front is entirely clear, and then we move off to the left side, to the Jefferson Street side, of which spaces still protrude beyond the facade of the building.
Correct.
Right? That's what we have. That's what you proposed.
Yeah,
Right,
we're
right there at that corner.
Yeah, we're not changing.
And while before, I was really concerned to see that a forest of SUVs and other things, as I said, would cover the entire facade as you walked along Washington Street and really obscure the building. Now I'm less concerned about that, but I'm still concerned about it, because I don't see why we make an exception here. And I realize every lot and every set of configurations is unique, because they just are the way the building was put, and the lots are what they are. But we've had a policy of not allowing parking, even though there is this old city approval. We've had a policy of not allowing parking to protrude beyond the facade of the main building. And you're still doing that here. And we all know why you're doing it. You're doing it because you need spaces.
Correct.
And while I'm sympathetic to that, I just can't support parking here in the Washington and Jefferson corner. If you were to pull it back, that would be a different story. So that's where I find myself, even though I find this better than when you first appeared.
So is that, but that, we're talking about existing conditions on that corner, right? Nothing that's proposed to be changed, right, Paul?
Well,
Talking about this area.
you're proposing to allow parking to the Jefferson and Washington Street corner, correct?
That's been there.
No, that's been
entirely
there.
for the last 30
We're not
years.
changing that at all.
The only thing they're adding is parking.
All right, then I'm misunderstanding the application. I thought this was all new.
No, that's all existing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only parking they're adding.
No, this is here.
This one over here,
Is here.
that never really
They're not
happened,
doing
but
that
was
either.
on a
The
plan.
only parking they're adding is that right there.
Yep,
There we go.
okay. Then I'll admit that the pre-existing parking is nothing that you're asking for now, because if you were asking for it, I wouldn't approve.
No, we're not asking for that now.
All right, so I stand corrected as to interpreting and understanding what you're presenting. You've moved everything off to the side and pushed it behind the building. Then I can
Oh,
support.
yeah, all the newly proposed.
Yeah, the newly proposed.
Yeah.
Then I can support that.
Thank you.
I never want to be negative with people that are doing great things with our historic buildings. And when this building was taken over by Barbara, her husband, it was standing out there on the ground with a wing behind it, exactly the way Sloan designed it, one of the great architects of that period. It is labeled a key contributing building. And to help these people to do the work they needed to do to make it a usable house, the boards gave in a lot. They gave them a very large parking area on the Jefferson side, and they did an addition off the back to give them many, many more rooms at the same time. That was to give them enough occupancy to sort of support this. They were taking on a building in the Italianate style. And as some of you know, we deal with everything from cottages to mansions. But the old Italianate villa was designed to sit on the high ground of a piece of land with all the lands, probably the grape yards and the gardens and everything around it, which are slowly just getting taken over by these additions. And now you're asking us to approve more parking in what I consider the front yard of the addition of the building, not the backyard. You can't call that a backyard, side yard, or rear yard. That's in the front yard, which was designed very carefully to go along with what would have been an attachment to that building. So now if we fill that with cars, we're really closing up that much more land for that wonderful view of the building. And we're being asked to do this so you can get a variance to have a bar and restaurant, which are uses that are not allowed without a variance in the R zone or the RS zone. I mean, it's guest houses or tourist or guest houses are the one thing outside of churches and things like that. So you're asking us to give up all the meanings of the things we've put together to allow that building to do something and help support a variance that you want to get to do this bar and restaurant. I'm not sure how many neighbors know on Corgi Street what you're planning to do. They'll probably find out when the zoning board comes up. But literally, bars are not a great addition right in the residential district. And believe me, we deal with endless
even a
complaints
consideration of this
about about the bars going on. Bars, restaurants, whatever you want to call it. It's got a bar in it, and that's part of it. It's written in your application.
It is, but I'm just wondering, is that a,
So,
didn't think that was a design standard for which this board had jurisdiction or was even considering when we present what we're presenting?
but we could look into the future and see where things are going. And we can also use our knowledge of where things are going to say, we're sticking to our standards. I consider that a front yard, and I think that should stay open to the public view to give that last section of that house the villa standing that it should have. Remember, it's key contributing, it's done by a famous architect, and we should do everything we can to help them, but not overcrowd the property. Thank you.
Refresh me once again, number of new spaces?
10.
10. Thank you.
Technically -4. That's correct.
Right. We have 14 that we showed. We're trying to reduce, we're reducing that
And the
in order to stay beyond the building facade.
And the 14 that we have
We
are
could
right
park
up
in right
front that
now.
we're already approved for, so we could just use those
Not approved by us. in front.
Yeah.
But approved by the board, the planning board.
for
Right.
30 years. They've been
Yeah,
approved,
30
they're
years
in
of
existence.
Yeah, understood.
Well, they were approved but never used.
No, they've been used.
They've been used.
Well, hey, I've been living here a long time, too. And I walked through that yard today, and I find absolutely no evidence of anything there, like a paver.
That's
or
why
a
we're trying to do
driveway.
here.
And it must be awful far under the dirt. But, if it's not used, it's not grandfathered in. I mean, the Washington Inn is obviously grandfathered in for continuous use over that period
I
of
would
time. We're not dealing with something that's grandfathered in.
I would agree to disagree on that, but that's, I would. I don't think it's been abandoned in any way whatsoever.
Can I ask the legal part of that as far as the abandonment of the 14 spots?
That's not really something that's before us tonight. And I would really, I understand what Mr. Amenhauser and the applicant are trying to do. They're trying to make a presentation here of, hey, look, this is what we got, look and compare it with what we're proposing. But we're not here to determine whether this is a pre-existing non-conforming use or a pre-existing permitted use or whatever. That's not what HPC is doing tonight. We're really talking about the first thing that Kevin said, which is the standard and what they're proposing and whether that's a good arrangement or not. We're not going to get into, it was approved, so therefore we have to do that X or Y. It's just looking at their plan, Mr. Kiss's presentation, and is that compatible with the standards? The rest of this stuff can come out in the wash. But I don't want the record or the resolution or the decision-making to be muddied by a 1995 resolution that nobody's had a chance to review before this. So I would suggest we stick to the standards and the presentation. A lot of this has been really relevant to our standards, but we're veering off into, I'm not even sure where this came from. I got it before the meeting today. I don't blame them for bringing it. I'm not going to make a big stink about it. If they want to present it and provide testimony, that's fine. But I really think the most relevant thing for the board to consider, I know this is important to the applicant as well, is this plan compatible with our standards, which were adopted in 2023? That's what we're doing tonight.
Okay. And I guess it changes my concern, because I was, thinking if they were going to abandon those 14 spots and put it behind the front facade, that would be a better situation as far as the argument. But without knowing if this was actually approved in 6 of 95, I don't know that.
I don't know, but I think if looking at the two plans, if we had to choose between one or the other, I think that one looks a lot better than this one.
this,
Under the
right.
standards, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But I I don't think we have to come to a conclusion as to what the zoning status of those spaces are tonight to weigh in on the appropriateness of this parking plan, which is all we're being tasked to do tonight.
Well, can I just back up a little bit? Because if we're looking at the 14 in the front yard, if this does go to a resolution, would you ask them to abandon that?
Yeah, if you were going to consider a motion to approve this, I think that's what they're proposing.
We
Yeah.
propose
Yeah,
to
and-
abandon.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I think that maybe it does come into some of the decision-making.
It certainly cleans it up, and I think the applicant offered that up to say, okay, this is, whatever the status of this, they're saying, look, we'd rather do this than that, than this.
Yes. and-
I think that was what was stated.
Are you Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Please understand that it was Vince Orlando who got all these plans approved. I guess we can drag him in here, but.
But I'm saying, this is all I have. I don't
Right.
have anything more to go
Yeah.
on as far as
We
this.
would again make that representation. We would absolutely abandon those 14 spaces for
Mm-hmm.
the 10 new ones if approved.
And Ms. Wild, what I'm trying to do is avoid that
I appreciate
exercise.
that. Thank
You know,
you
let's
very
just
much.
keep it simple and,
Yeah.
you know.
Apparently,
You're on deck, Yogi. Oh, sorry.
that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay.
I wasn't here for the first meeting, but what I heard tonight was that this board asked them to move them out of the front, out of the front of the building, which, to me, it looks like they've done that until Mr. Carroll stated that this was part of the front of the addition. Am I correct in saying that?
That's right.
Then, but it seems like they did what we recommended before by moving them to the rear, like our rear, we're calling this the rear, on the
I
side
think
of
most-
Jefferson.
many of us didn't think there were two front yards.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
okay.
and that's the other, we have 3 front yards in a sense, given
Yeah,
that
yeah.
located. We don't have a rear yard.
Because I think this resolves the problem. I mean, I'd rather see it there than any other place on the site. If you're worried about the building, that's my personal feeling.
I think I'd characterize it differently. I think the way, they came in, first of all, with a proposal that had essentially parking all the way across the front yard
Yeah.
from the existing parking lot, and then all the way around to the addition on the back of the building. So it was essentially covering the entire landscape of the property. What we said was, I think,
That's it.
while we didn't take, I don't remember us taking a vote, I think we basically said there was no possibility they were going to be successful with that.
tabled after discussion.
It was tabled after discussion. There was no possibility of them achieving their objective on that if they wanted to go to a vote. And the suggestion was, why don't you come in and if you have some alternatives, present them to the small group and just get their feel. You know, so there was nothing recommended by us, nothing whatsoever recommended by us to them. It was simply the same vehicle we offer to everybody, which is you can come to the small group and throw some additional concepts on the table. I can say for the record, at the small group, they would not have had my vote, period. I mean, I don't believe this is consistent with our standards. It's just that simple. And I think to agree to this is a precedent-setting agreement to violate the standards, basically. And so, from my perspective, I think, tried to be
Kevin,
persuasive.
doesn't it make some difference, though, as to whether you believe that parking is already extant in the southwest?
I'm not sure it is or it isn't. I don't know that that is true or not. I don't know whether that parking can be allowed to be used today. I'm working off of an assumption that it cannot. Maybe that's flawed, but that's the only assumption I can make at the moment. It hasn't been used in however many years. I've never seen a car parked there except to unload something for a bridal venue or something. So I guess I'm working on the assumption that it cannot be used, that it's been abandoned in some fashion. And I think I didn't really think about it as a front yard. I do see it as in the standards, a visible side yard. And therefore, I think it violates the standards all the way around. So I don't think, Yogi, I don't think we offered them anything. We simply offered them an opportunity to come and test the waters for an alternative.
I got out of the question that the board asked them to relocate it to the back, and that's what they did.
Right.
We didn't ask them anything.
Or suggested, is that the correct, no?
No.
I wasn't
I
here.
think we said what was presented was unacceptable. We
yeah.
read the standards and had an extensive debate. They've come back with a changed proposal.
So,
They've done what what is logical for them. I mean, in fairness to the applicants, I think they tested the waters. They didn't feel like they were successful. They came to the small group. They came up with a couple of other ideas. I mean, I would acknowledge that they were better than what they had originally come in with, but, I also had the time to think about this even further, and that's where I've landed tonight.
John?
so one of the things I love about a democracy is that we could disagree, and I respectfully disagree with Mr. Hammerin. The way I read our standards, when it talks about a visible side yard, and I do believe that this qualifies as a side yard, because the original structure, it clearly was a side yard, and it's more than 100 feet away from the street. It's also about 3 feet lower than the street, and furthermore, it's not exactly a paved parking lot. It's a totally different material that our standards are silent on. Our standards do not talk about grass pave. They do not talk about grass block. So to me, the way this has been designed with a brick walkway around it and a hedge around it, and with that pattern of green diamonds, one could easily see this as a garden. Now, the downside of that is if there are going to be cars parked there all night long. And I believe that we had talked about some sort of provision, if you could speak to that, please.
So Barbara, in terms of the use of this, we discussed and would agree, right, that this is only to be used for patrons of the bar or restaurant?
Yes.
And in the event that the bar and restaurant is closed, we wouldn't allow any parking there, and you have a gate that you could actually close
That
to
is
prevent
correct.
parking, correct?
And I will be very frank with you. When you're looking at the Southern Mansion and you're going north, we don't have parking problems. When you go south, you do. You have them at the mall, you have them at the beach. I think that probably we could make a lot of the people park at the school and some other areas. I understand what your concerns are, and I hear them, Tom. I really, truly care. I really do. So I think we can work together. I really do.
So in following my logic train here, given that our standards are written in a way that they are clearly attempting to address all situations at all times in all places, that's an impossible task. This is absolutely an anomalous condition in my mind. This is a completely unique property. There's nothing else like it in Cape May. And the way that this is designed to appear visually more as a garden than a parking area, I find mitigates that whole definition of visible, particularly given the permanence, if you will, of the boxwoods. Now, our definition of visible does not allow for landscaping to be considered, I'll call it, a permanent visible obstruction.
You could always get rid of it, right?
Correct. So one of the things that I would ask is if you would be able to write into this application that those boxwoods would be at least, so I did a little section drawing of eye height, looking the entire 100 feet plus the additional 100 feet or 80 feet for the 8 spaces on each side. And if those boxwoods were 3 feet high, you would not be able to see the parking except for in the aisle. And by the way, now the aisle isn't really off-street parking, that's an aisle. So now we're getting into some semantic argument. So what I'm saying is there's enough grayness or nuance, I believe, given the particulars of this unique situation, that I would support this.
And that was a minimum of 3 foot in height for the boxes,
Correct.
too, right?
Based on the section I drew.
Okay.
So I would like to ask our civil engineer whether he agrees with that or not.
I would totally agree with
I
that.
mean, as to the visibility.
Correct.
That's not height.
So I only have one problem with this whole thing, really, and that is the use of the in-ground uplights, mainly because that would violate dark sky provisions. So would you consider altering the lighting in the landscape so that they were lower down lights, so that we weren't setting light.
We had looked at and kicked around like a bollard light that would kind of be pulled back into the boxwoods and then would direct light down. We were concerned that they didn't meet with the, the historic aesthetic, but if that's something the board prefers, I think we would be open.
Yeah, I think we'd prefer some sort of fixture that was not in violation of, well, violation's a strong word, but doesn't comply with dark sky standards.
Speaking as a lead person.
Correct.
So, and you'd be willing to covenant with respect to the boxwood maintenance?
Yes.
So what I'm hearing is that you are abandoning the existing 14 spaces that are in the front yard on the right side of the original mansion along Jefferson. You are agreeing.
Along Washington.
Washington.
I'm sorry, Washington.
Jefferson, sorry, I'm sorry.
Thank you. President
Washington,
number one,
Jefferson.
president number two,
One president,
Yeah,
another president.
The second thing that I think you're agreeing to, if we were to make a motion, is that you would covenant in perpetuity the 3-foot-high boxwoods,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And the third thing is that you would alter the lighting fixtures so that they were downlights as opposed to, they would comply with dark sky standards.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
John?
Yes?
Can I just bring out one point? I would like more verification that this piece of paper we've been handed to tonight was actually part of a past agreement, stamped properly, ready to go. I mean, we go through many 1, 2, 3 worksheets before we're looking at the final thing. And there's nothing really on this. And I've been here a long time, and I have not seen anything ever going on to use that piece of land.
Barbara, can you talk about how, I just feel like it's opened up here. I mean, we're just trying to review.
We can talk about it, but I think it's,
If you think it's, listen, I'll-
my thought on this is
You've indicated we use it.
we're not going to get to the bottom of this tonight because we need like we need to go look through a bunch of resolutions. And my point about this is I don't think we need to.
I would actually suggest it's irrelevant.
Yeah,
Because
that's,
what we're approving is this site plan, and this site plan only has those new 10 spots on it.
Understood.
All the others are not even depicted.
and the applicant is saying, I think for purposes of a motion, whether they're approved or there or existing or pre-existing or non-existing, they're abandoning that concept and
Correct.
doing this in lieu of that. So to the extent it was approved or it wasn't approved, it's ancient history after this. Is I think what the applicant's saying, right? Okay.
Very clearly.
Oh, and with respect to the conditions, non-permanence of the parking.
Yes, thank you.
yes.
Non-overnight parking in the spaces that we're
Absolutely.
talking about. So you'll close those down.
Yes.
So just to be clear, if someone would like to make a motion, the conditions are that of course, you're abandoning existing or not 14 spaces. In other words, what we would be approving is this site,
Correct.
correct? That you would engage in a covenant for permanent maintenance of a 3-foot-high boxwood surrounding the parking area, of course, using the grass pave, dark sky compliant lighting fixtures, and no overnight parking in that area. Is that correct?
Will those fixtures come back to the works?
Yeah, and
That's a condition of approval, so they would need to
Okay.
bring those before the review committee.
it's also, it's to come back for final anyway.
We do.
Has to come back for final, they've got to get zoning approval.
Yeah, so it has to come
Yeah.
back anyway.
It'll come back to us.
Yeah.
I know we've talked in the past up at the League of Municipalities in Atlantic City. They do have companies that sell very historic-looking bollard lighting for parking areas that are downlit.
Yeah.
So there's
Look into
options out there that would blend in with the
Research
building.
Any members of the public?
So, before we make a motion, I would like to open it up to the public. Is there anybody here this evening who would like to make a comment about this project? Okay, do I hear a motion with those 4 conditions?
I'll make the motion with the conditions that you've just stated, so they can be read into that.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
So now if we vote yes,
Conceptual
no?
approval with those 4 conditions.
if we vote no, is that a yes?
No, it's in the affirmative, so if you like the plan with the conditions, vote yes. If you don't, vote no.
Okay. I vote no.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
No.
Mr. Hammerin?
No.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, gentlemen and ladies.
Okay, next on our agenda is Reich at 1249 Washington Street. Good evening.
Good evening.
If you could please state your name and your role in the project.
I'm Shannon Rich, and we're both owners of the house. I'm Greg Rich.
Excuse me for mispronouncing your name, I'm
that's
sorry. So it's pronounced Rich?
Yeah, very simple.
Welcome.
Yeah,
The floor is yours.
thank you. So our architect, Pam Fine, couldn't be here tonight. She has some traveling, so we're going to ask for final approval on 1249 Washington Street. I'm going to read what we've all discussed amongst our team. We just want to let you know that we were granted the variances to build the design that was presented and approved by the HPC for preliminary review with no major changes, other than siding being changed from cedar shingles at the back to cedar clapboard. Also, we wanted to let you, give you a new 3D rendering of the proposed changes. That should be in your packet. At the back. It shows the new porch, the side additions, the rear attic addition. Gives you a better idea what it looks like from the street. So that's all we have.
So, excuse me, Mr. Rich, I did some research today. I was trying to find the conceptual approval that you received. Do you have the date of that approval?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
So I looked in all of our files for the last 4 years, and I couldn't find any, but it might be missing from my computer files, so that's why I'm a little bit confused.
So I'm going to go with September of 24, and then Pam came back in September, October of 25, and had a meeting, and then here we are for final.
Okay. All right. So I believe what you're saying is the only thing that has changed from the preliminary, I'm sorry, let's use proper terminology, the conceptual approval, is that you changed the siding on the back portion from shingles to clapboard. Is that correct?
That's accurate.
Okay. And where that distinction occurs is, well, I'll be quiet. 'cause have a
I
couple
can
questions.
point it out to you. If you look at the picture, it's after the porches on the
Yes.
side, so it's in behind those side porches.
Yep.
It would start.
Got it. Okay. So opening it up to questions. Mr. Hammer, would you like to start, please?
I guess I didn't realize there was any previous approvals on this at all, and then all we were asking for was the approval for the siding. If that's correct.
Can I,
Exactly the same issue.
You've caught me by the sneakers at the moment here.
can I just try and clarify that a second? Because I think I came on in 2024. I think we had Judy and I had some conceptuals that we were playing catch up with when I came on. And
I remember it.
yeah, so
certainly remember Pam talking about taking the skylights out of the tower.
I'm looking at it right now. So let me just read it so we have it. So
I thought we were looking at an entire project here.
no, so and again, I came on in January 2024. I remember Judy and I doing some catch up on some conceptual approvals before I came on. So this is when Bob was on. But the date of the HPC hearing was October 16th, 2023, which sounds like September-ish. And the conceptual approval condition says, at the time of the hearing, conceptual approval, the applicant personally appeared and was represented by architect Pamela Fine and sought conceptual approval for an addition, roof deck, porch, screen porch, siding, windows, roof, railing, and driveway The enclosed one-story front porch will remain, but a new northeast side addition will replace exterior stairs and decks. The shed roof of the existing porch will extend around the side and be sheathed in metal and cover an open porch leading to an enclosed entry foyer with a screened porch above. The existing rear addition will be reconstructed to be 2 stories with a new 3-story stair tower on the southwest side, leading to a roof deck extending above the original gabled peak and beyond the existing embedded octagonal turret. Skylights will be removed from the turret roof. The applicant is proposing new 2-over-2 all-wood windows, wood siding to replace asphalt, all wood doors, new wood railings, and an asphalt roof. The HPC asked about retaining original windows. The applicant indicated that some will remain. The applicants agreed to evaluate them and present a window plan in connection with final review. HPC concurred that they preferred an all-brick driveway. In response to board objections to the excessive height of the new tower, the applicant indicated that plans would be revised to lower it to existing gabled roof line. The HPC discussed the potential for removal of existing front parking space. The applicant declined this proposal. The HPC expressed its preference to retain the original chimney. And the HPC then voted for conceptual approval conditioned on the applicant modifying the design of the stair tower so it cannot be seen from the street, retaining the chimney, identify the existing original windows, and deleting the concrete from the driveway. Sound familiar?
Yes.
It does sound familiar. Could you repeat the part about the driveway?
Brick driveway. It's toward the end.
Yeah, the
One on the left.
HPC concurred that they preferred an all-brick driveway. And then the vote was
Yeah.
deleting the concrete from the driveway, which, I mean, will be all brick then.
I heard it the first time you said it.
I should have just
The
said it
opposite.
in the affirmative both times, but deleting concrete
Thank
means
you.
do the brick, yeah. But that tracks with your recollection. I know Ms. Fine was here before. We're putting on the spot and reading it here, but that's what we have on,
Yeah.
in my file at least.
Okay, so we don't have that document, which is unfortunate, because it would be very helpful for this review to have it. It should be included in the packet when you have a conceptual. It should always be included in the packet, so we have that information. Especially if it's so long ago. So this turret is higher, proposed to be higher than the existing one? No, it's
No, it's the same.
No, it's the little tower at the top of the steps on the third
Oh,
floor.
yes.
Right?
Yeah,
That's what,
so there's not a lot of access way when you, without a
little
tower extension, a little tower extension, you basically have to bend way over to get into the attic space.
This one.
Yeah,
that's
so
what
it's
I thought.
functional more than anything.
Yeah, it's funny, that was the only thing that I thought was just really kind of strange on your plan. It's really nice. I think the house is going to look a lot nicer. I always love these renditions. They really help me a lot. But I guess if that's the only solution you could come up with, there it is.
Yeah, it's not like we wanted to do it, but we felt like for functionality, for safety, egress.
You would literally bump your head.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
done it many times.
so the conditions stated that the tower not be visible from the street, is that correct? That new little stair
That's what
tower?
I heard.
Yeah. And it's questionable whether it is.
Yeah, it's minimal. I mean,
We
Well,
tried to
that's
minimize it.
visible from the street.
it's visible.
I mean, see, the difficulty, I'm having a little difficulty because clearly I heard the conceptual stuff. I remembered we did this. I heard the run-through, but I'm having trouble reconciling what's submitted here now and what we were told were the only changes with coming through to follow up on the conceptual comments. That's my difficulty. I can't connect the 2 things you mentioned with the 7 things that Chris just read in terms of what the submission here shows. If Pam were here, we might have that clarified. That's my difficulty here. And not questioning the appropriateness of the design, which clearly got a conceptual approval in the first place. It's the coming to the end part that I'm having trouble with.
Just on page A2, the drive aisle, it does say new brick strips. So that was one changed. I wasn't able to catch all the rest as you were going through.
Well, at least there's brick now.
There is brick, but that's why I'm saying maybe all of these have been changed on the new submission. I don't know that, but one item was changed.
Yeah, in our perspective, really the only difference between the pre-approval and the final approval application is the bump up and the use of cedar clapboard on the back side of it versus cedar shake.
Yeah.
So,
We actually found a really good place to differentiate it because what's existing and what's new is different on 2 of the 3 floors. So you actually made the change of materials at an appropriate spot, I think. Yeah. So the only other thing, was it a condition of the conceptual that they keep the chimney? Because that was something that
Retaining the chimney is one of the conditions.
and it doesn't appear as if that happened.
So I'll just give you a little bit of background on the chimney if I could. So when we bought the house, the chimney was it served a function, and it was a cinder block scrap with plaster and screening, sort of handmade.
So it wasn't brick like it shows in the elevations?
So in 2005, we actually I had the chimney replaced in 2005, and I said to the mason at the time, just give me a chimney for this amount of money. And he gave me a wonderful chimney in 2005. So,
Which was a brick chimney?
So he put brick on what was just a plaster chimney?
yes.
Okay.
And that was just the flue from the furnace in the basement, right?
That's exactly correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So as far as the bump up and providing proper access and egress from the attic space, the chimney sort of sits right in the middle of that access point.
And it totally blocks access to the stair on the first and
That's it.
second floor?
That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I know what it is to have an intrusive chimney.
Mhm. Other comments and questions for these folks?
Yes, I just had one. It's not depicted on your 3D rendering, but on your elevations, it shows that on the front by the windows on the left-hand side, you're actually going to have a real gas lamp fixtures.
Yes.
I think that's really going to be a nice improvement at night, for the streetscape pedestrians walking down the street. So, very nice.
Thank you.
So the only question I have is, I'm just curious as to why you've chosen to use a standing seam metal roof over the porch when all the rest of the visible roofs are a shingle. Is there a reason for that?
We just like the look.
You like the look?
No reason.
I agree.
I think other questions and comments for these folks? Do you need any zoning approvals for this at this point?
No.
It's all been received.
It's all been
Okay.
So they've checked final.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Well, if we do need, we're going to have to reconcile for example, the chimney, except if we approve. With, change
So
from
that can be part of the motion or not. I'm of a mind to, if that chimney, as a brick chimney, would have been part of the original structure, I would have a problem with it going away, but you
We
put the
understand.
brick on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You made it look how
Better.
it shows in the elevations, which was only in, 2022, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
I don't understand the question.
Well, so the way I understood you explain the chimney was when you purchased the home, it was just a cement-covered flue,
Cinder block around the
cinder
flue.
block that had been parched. And what you did is you made it actually look appealing by putting brick on it.
That's exactly it.
Correct. So had that been part of the original house, I would have a problem with getting rid of it, but I don't now because of what you just said. It wasn't part of the original home.
I will make a motion for approval based on the fact that we are saying the chimney is not original to the house. If that is in fact wrong, the chimney should stay.
Great. Do I hear a second?
Second.
So moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Mr. Stevenson. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz? Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes, and I'd also like to say that this is a beautiful improvement to this home. Thank you for that.
Thank you. We appreciate that. It's been a lot of work.
Long time
Clearly.
coming.
Yes.
Long t- I keep looking at the house saying, when are they going to start?
I know. We're getting there.
I guess
Thank
it's
you.
Thank you very much.
tied to the chimney, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say it's been a lot of work. It's just begun.
It's been a long time.
How true that is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
You just
Okay,
go into a
so
lifetime.
the next,
Okay, Johnny, my boy.
we have 5 submissions regarding small wireless facilities. So let's start with the first one, but I would like to ask whether or not we can, the questions that I think we'll be asking would be applicable to all 5. So we do need to review and make a motion on each of these, but can we ask questions about all 5 of them during the first one, or not?
Are they, these gentlemen and lady here for the same, for all 5?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Then yes.
Even though you have 2 different names.
Yes, that should have all appeared as
So
Crown
would
Castle.
you folks be willing to entertain questions about all 5 during the
Certainly.
first one? That way we can move through the 5 motions as we get there?
Certainly,
A lot of
yes,
the
of
questions
course.
can be related, so.
Yeah, they are.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay, so if you could please introduce yourselves, tell us what your role in the project is.
Sure. My name is Lisa Mosey. I'm the manager of permitting and utilities for Crown Castle.
Good evening. Robert Gaudioso with the law firm of Snyder and Snyder, and I'm outside counsel for Crown Castle.
Great. The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you.
Just one
Yes.
thing, just to clarify, there are 5 new small cell facilities being proposed. 3 are taking existing wooden poles and replacing them and putting the equipment on those replaced poles. 2 of them are brand-new wooden poles. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. Before we discuss the 5 specific locations, I thought it would be appropriate to just take a moment to explain why this infrastructure matters. Crown Castle is a national provider of wireless communications infrastructure that supports the wireless technology that we use today. Crown Castle, right now, nationwide, supports 40,000 cell towers, 90,000 route miles of fiber, and over 115,000 small cell nodes, which is what we're talking about tonight. Here in the state of New Jersey, Crown Castle has 6,500 miles of fiber, 655 towers, and over 1,000 of these small cells that service your residents, businesses, and visitors across the state. This particular infrastructure is critical for a lot of reasons, but most importantly for public safety. Today, over 80% of 911 calls originate from wireless devices. And reliable coverage and capacity is essential for emergency communications, for first responders, and real-time communication during weather events and public gatherings, large public gatherings. Cape May presents a unique connectivity challenge as a obviously historic and very highly popular tourist destination. You see tremendous increase in population in the key months, and that presents a challenge. Visitors and residents rely heavily on their mobile devices to make reservations for their navigation, emergency calls, ride services, and as we all know, sharing photos, videos, their vacation experience with friends, family, on social media, posts, videos, and sharing photos. So that all that demand puts a real strain on the existing wireless networks. This is where this technology comes into play. Small cell technology is critical for servicing these additional capacity needs for coverage and capacity. Small cells are compact, low-profile facilities that are added to existing utility poles or wood poles that improve that capacity where new cell towers are not appropriate. This allows cities like Cape May to be able to support the modern wireless needs of residents and visitors while still maintaining that look of historic character of the streetscape. So I wanted to just give that context within that. These 5 sites are critical to improving your wireless coverage and capacity within the city. Particularly, these are areas that are experiencing high demands. And I'm happy to go through the sites, individually or answer any questions that you may have regarding them.
So, if you would indulge me a moment, I'd like to open up this discussion.
Yeah.
We're grateful to our planning commission for asking you guys to come and see us as a full commission. Cape May is an extraordinarily unique place in that it is what we refer to as the one and only. It's the only National Historic Landmark District in the United States on the national level that the historic district is the entire municipal boundaries. Now, our zoning overlay is different than that, quite obviously. And it presents some really unique challenges, not just the ones you're talking about with regard to this fluctuation of population from 2,600 people to 50,000 people in a matter of a couple of months. It's a whole aesthetic character and context that we are charged with maintaining, preserving, literally preserving, and evolving. So of course, part of the evolving is that new technology is essential to our safety and our well-being. So the question we are always asking, and you may have heard some of these discussions this evening, is when new things need to or want to happen, the restraining forces against that activating force is how can we do that in a way that will still maintain the character and context of this place, which is why people come here. It's differentiated from any other shore town in New Jersey by virtue of its historic significance. So what we're constantly seeking is how can we reconcile those two forces which ostensibly appear to create a conflict. So I tried to answer that question in this regard. 3 of the poles that you are proposing to replace are in the central business district in very, very significant places. 2 are outside of it a little, not quite as important, but then I started to think, well, maybe all 5 of them should probably be as similar as possible. So I spent some time going to your company, and I looked at installations that you have made in Baltimore, in West Palm Beach, in New Orleans, in San Diego. I could go on and on. I have found 17 pages of really beautiful stealth poles, where in some cases, the diameter of the pole is such that the 22-inch by 22-inch by 5-foot high box and the meter appears to be inside the pole. In other places, it appears as if all of that technical equipment, forgive me my lack of technical expertise here, can be installed in a base. And the bases range in size depending upon which of these 17 poles show up. Now, granted, the date of this is 2017. That's the most recent one I could find. So my question before we go any further is, given what is proposed in all 5 of these, I would call it, and I don't mean to in any way insult you, but less than aesthetically pleasing.
You start out with the fact that poles themselves, telephone poles.
Well, telephone poles themselves.
Aesthetically pleasing.
So it's a 22-inch square box, if I understand it correctly, by a 5-foot, 5-inch high box that's roughly 7-8 feet above the sidewalk. Is that accurate? And then out of that becomes a cable. It's kind of a loose cable that's attached to an 18-inch by, it looks like about 6 to 8-inch deep.
That's probably the power disconnect you're referring to.
Yeah.
So they
To
do
the
have-
meter.
Yes.
Yes.
The meter.
There it is right there.
Yeah.
It's almost the same drawing in all cases. So
That's correct.
my
It's the
question
same
is,
deployment.
is there a way that we could rethink this so that all 5 of these, or at least 3 of them, were much more consistent with and conducive to preserving the architectural and historical character of this place that we love?
Well, I would say that Crown Castle, the majority of the over 115,000 small cells throughout the country that I had previously mentioned, they are and do exist on wood utility poles. So we are a public utility working in the public right-of-way. Our preference is always to go on existing poles rather than to proliferate additional poles. So as far as the wood versus what I'm assuming you're asking about metal, the potential for metal poles, it is, you are absolutely correct. We do have metal poles deployed throughout the country. That is generally used in areas where only metal poles exist today. If we are in an area of the city that only has metal streetlights, or we're in a square that has metal gas lights, we will enter into agreements, attachment agreements, or right-of-use agreements with those jurisdictions to use their poles and maybe change those, use that same aesthetic, but change those in order to add those, our wireless facilities to that. But that is in areas that only have metal poles existing. That would preclude us from being able to install or use a wood pole.
Okay, so the question I have is the equipment that's mounted on the poles that you are depicting in your renderings, is it possible that that can be placed in the base of those poles as it appears to be depicted with these stealth poles? Is that accurate or not?
No, we wouldn't be able to. So the wood poles that we have, obviously, we're not going to put anything in a base of a wood pole, but.
But these stealth poles, that equipment is in the base
the-
in many cases, is that right?
It can go in a base,
Okay,
yes.
that's all I needed to know.
Yes, it can.
So
go in a-
Lorraine, could you make a few comments here? Lorraine is on our city council. She's our liaison with city council, and one of the things you may not know is the promenade improvement that has been going on for several years and will likely go on for a couple of more years. We are methodically removing those wooden poles to bury those electric lines so that we are trying to eliminate wooden poles over a period of time. So installing new facilities with wooden poles again is sort of quite antithetical to the effort that we're making to get rid of them. So
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Absolutely, and that's what we are trying to do. And if you take a look around in the historic district and even outside of the historic district, we do have the metal gas lamps, which would be fitting into exactly what Mr. Becker is talking about. Where we do, and I did some research as well on my own to figure out that there are ways that these can be encased within the base and within the pole. Again, without being in this business, we don't know, and we were looking at you taking down poles and putting in higher poles than what was there.
They are.
So again, that looks at streetscape. So, we're really cognizant as far as what is this going to look like? You're looking at North Street. That's one area that's pretty, over on Washington Street. That's a, highly historic, district. So, these areas that we think that, okay, well, we only do it this way, or this is the way we normally do it, I think we need to think a little bit more outside of the box.
I have to ask you a preliminary question. Your surveys that resulted in these, these boosters or repeaters, are you certain that there were not alternative locations such as on buildings or other places where, the reason I say that is because we've had situations in the past where enhancement equipment has been more stealthily located on eaves and roofs and louvers and things that are already in existing buildings. And I think as Ms. Baldwin indicated, the number of wooden telephone poles in this town are going to go substantially down. And I'm at a point where I don't really find that's, no matter what you plug onto a wooden pole, I don't find that aesthetically consistent with our standards. So, but I wanted to know first, did you do surveys to look at alternative locations rather than stick these on top of existing poles?
So that type of a deployment, like a rooftop deployment, would be considered a macro, which is similar to the towers and the type of equipment that goes on those. This is small
Macro meaning
cell-
bigger.
Correct.
Bigger, more
right,
voltage, more wattage,
Small
whatever.
cell technology.
Yeah, okay.
They are meant to go on the utility poles, and that's what these carriers are looking for right now.
Are they meant to go on the utility poles, or are they meant to be at the height of where they are on the utility poles?
They're placed on utility poles.
In the right-of-way.
So
why, I mean, I'm sort of, I understand the lower wattage and the lower power,
Yeah.
because your profile, I assume you do surveys with respect to the contours that these things provide. So would the contour change if you were to mount this, for example, on, I don't know, the roof of Convention Hall, for example?
Well, an example might be, actually, there's one proposed for Washington Street just across from the mall, right by where the,
Right.
That's
that
correct.
other small ones. You have a, what is it, a 5-story building?
Victorian
that's right there,
Towers.
Victoria Towers, that parking in on top of that would, I would assume, create a
Of
much
course, they're
broader.
not in the public right away.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think that's so the key issue really is the technology. So, Congress and the FCC work together to particularly make small cell technology available because it goes in the public right away. It densifies the network. It's where you have a situation where you have existing cell phone towers or rooftop installations, whether they're stealth or not, and then to put a smaller facility tied into the network right where the people are. So it's very important to have these facilities close to where the usage is, particularly when the usage explodes for a few months. And in fact, I think Lisa might have a photograph. This is very similar to what I believe has been previously approved here for AT&T, one of the competitors in the right-of-way. It's almost an identical facility, if you want to maybe pass that around.
Yeah, I was going to respectfully note that there is an existing operational small cell on Beach Avenue that is
Yeah, we
very
do know.
much similar to.
And we're also aware of our obligation under subsection E to pass on the appropriateness with respect to the streetscape effect of these things. So yes, there may be one, but there may not be 6.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So if AT&T is putting these up and Crown Castle is putting them up, are we going to be faced with other people putting them up as well?
These guys are acting for a lot of other people.
Well, the great thing about Crown Castle is that the way we do build these, they're meant to be co-located. So Verizon is our customer, T-Mobile is our customer, AT&T is also our customer at times. In this case, they chose to, what we call self-perform, which is to build for themselves alone. But Crown Castle's business model is to co-locate so that you don't have this proliferation of everyone making their own individual.
And that's a good idea, because
And
we'd
that's-
rather deal with one or two entities
And that's without
than 52 of
expanding
them.
the form factor here. That's without expanding the size of the equipment or the antenna. We're able to co-locate
So-
with these facilities.
So, let me just refer to the plan so that I'm not giving you improper information on these deployments.
The pole, if it's to scale, the pole's about 37 feet tall.
Well, actually, our poles are a little shorter. So, for example, the new pole at 315 Washington is only 34. The other ones are actually a bit lower. And the poles all meet the height and setback requirements as proposed and as approved by the planning board.
Yeah.
So for instance, 104 North Street's only 29 and a half feet. So consistent with the surrounding poles, or it's consistent with the poles in the area, and consistent with what AT&T was approved for.
And the bottom of that shroud, it's called a shroud, is what we refer to that equipment cabinet, is at 10 feet.
Yeah, so I tend to agree with John. I think we have a very unique town, and I think we need a more unique solution than this for Cape May City.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the alternatives here really haven't been explored. I think that this is your usual standard approach: find the pole, put the right equipment on the pole, put the radome on top, and do the broadcasting. And I don't find that particular setup is consistent with our obligation under subsection E with respect to the streetscape in this unique city. And I think you can do better.
I guess the question would be, twofold. One, obviously there are existing wood poles, and obviously there's an existing identical facility by a functionally equivalent competitor, AT&T. And number two, when you install I didn't see the handout, but I suspect I know what's in there. Usually you're trying to match some type of metal pole that exists, whereas here the metal poles, for example, are big streetlight poles. They're not
these types of designs in these particular areas. And these particular areas we chose specifically to be in areas where there were wood poles. And the code of the city for small wireless facilities specifically talks about being a certain distance from existing poles and being a certain height and being a certain distance from the curb line. And I understand that the code for the HPC specifically says that you're not supposed to look at the zoning requirements and things of that nature. But,
Yeah,
but it is important to note that we do meet those
Yeah,
requirements.
and no doubt that you've been careful and consistent in complying with the other aspects of the codes. I don't think that's, at least that's not my issue.
Understood.
My issue is the aesthetics.
Understood.
One of the most common new poles going up in town are reproduction and antique gas lamps that are about 12 feet high. New ones cost about $9,000 to $12,000 each. And all of our projects at great expense are doing these. If you start matching that with towers next to them, they're going to really lose their appeal. One question I have, though, is when you decide to come to a city like ours, is this after we've been studied and compared to other cities and we're in a high need for this because safety is out of control? Things that would really say, Cape May better get this soon because people are dying.
Well, everyone's getting them. So Cape May is not special.
Everyone's dying.
But we are in the sense that there's an ocean
we dying
around the
for-
rest of us.
Well,
So
I
there's no place else to.
No, I think the point is that the carriers are the ones that determine the need because of the usage, right? And you see AT&T already determined that, and it's already been approved. But Cape May is not unique in that this is happening, as Lisa gave you some statistics, not only in New Jersey, but across the country. Up and down the Jersey Shore, when you have this type of technology solving this type of problem. The problem is the need for densification of the network in high-demand areas. So whether it's Cape May, whether it's Princeton, where we have similar facilities, it's happening throughout the areas because this is the technology, particularly under the federal law, but also this is usually considered the less intrusive alternative to the 100-foot or 150.
Did you redesign anything for Palmer Square in Princeton?
We are not moving forward with anything within Palmer Square.
So you're not placing the unit that you applied for in Palmer Square?
No, we are not.
So I'd just like to point out for my fellow commissioners that these, what are called the stealth poles, again, forgive my lack of technical expertise here, have been installed in San Diego, New Orleans, Baltimore, Miami, Nashville, Princeton, Pittsburgh, Houston, Ocean City, Boston, and Scottsdale, just to mention a few.
One less in Princeton, apparently.
Well, no, there was one in Princeton, it's just not on.
Well, we also have wooden poles in Princeton. And again, it goes back to the point of, putting the right design in the right spot based on what's existing. And in these areas is where the utility poles, so for example, 3 of them were replacing a wooden pole. And it's a slightly taller pole with a little additional equipment, including the antenna on top and the shroud box on the side. But those are wooden poles. And the 2 other locations, again, meeting the code requirements of certain distances and setbacks, they're in areas with, similar types of installations.
We have, I believe, about 80 small cells within the Princeton area. The vast majority of those are the wood poles, exactly as I'm proposing tonight. We do have a handful of metal poles, but those are on streets where only metal poles exist. And Palmer Square, was proposed to be that as well because there are only metal poles within Palmer Square.
So what is what would be your argument against trying to create something that is more contextual and consistent with the historic character of Cape May that we're requesting?
Well, I mean, we believe that the wood poles do fit with the streetscape as they are,
Well, I
now.
think you're going to get a quick unanimous
But-
from all of us up here that, no, we don't agree with that. Yeah.
We're not in the direction of enhancing poles,
Yeah.
making them look better or putting more of them in. That's the.
Well, I think it has to go back, though. I mean, there's 3 in particular that are being replaced, they're replacement wood poles. So to say that it's not in context.
Well, those poles are likely going to go away. So by you guys putting in another pole, you're making them even more permanent than we want them to be.
So the intention is the ACE pole lines, the primary power will be underground?
Not in all cases. I'll let our city council member speak to this.
You're correct, not in all cases.
Not in all cases, yeah.
I would say that
But
would be
in the
fair.
areas where we're talking about, I mean, 3 of these are on 3 of our most significant streets, Washington and Ocean, Jackson and Beach Drive right across from the convention hall. These are high-traffic pedestrian areas that are, really, really critical to, I would say, the viability and vitality of our economic life being a historic attraction.
And we'd say the same thing right back to you. Like,
But
the
speaking-
need for critical infrastructure, public utility infrastructure, in the public utility right-of-way where other public utilities.
Correct, so I don't-
do the same
I think
thing.
we're
It's the
denying
same-
you-
We're not denying that. So
Besides
what
the
we're
point,
seeking is, like, I'll go back to the framework that I presented. You're activating, needing an infrastructure. We're restraining by saying, yeah, that infrastructure as it's currently presented is not consistent with the context of our historical, wonderful place. How can we reconcile that? So I'm looking at, you've reconciled it at least 17 times in this document. So why can't we do that here?
I guess the question would be to you is, out of those 17, right, we can go on the internet and we can find different stealth designs. We certainly wouldn't
Great.
agree that
Well, we have a
that a
review-
cactus would be an appropriate
we-
stealth
we-
design.
Clearly, we don't want a cactus.
And I think that's one end of the spectrum, and I use that not as
Yeah.
a joke, but as
I know.
but as an example. And when if you flip through those, I've only seen the cover page. I probably haven't looked at the website in some time. You start talking about a 30 or 35-foot pole that is a one-off in each of these particular 5 locations.
So this one actually looks very much like our gas lamps in town.
Just an extension.
Very
of that
similar.
From them.
It just has 2 light fixtures instead of 1.
I just don't think in these particular areas, though. Is that correct?
Well-
Am I wrong about that?
Oh,
Like in
no,
these- in these-
directly across the street of the one at Washington and Ocean, it's lined with these.
We have 3 where there's the wood poles,
And
right?
and the same thing actually occurs on Jackson Street. And very close to the one across from Convention Hall.
Yeah, I think it occurs
So-
on Congress and
Correct.
North.
Yeah. And Congress and North, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's 4 of the 5.
Right.
And I mean, and just around the corner on Franklin, from where the new construction is, the city has not been able to effect the project, but the project was intended to bury the wiring, remove the poles, and put up the metal, the metal
I don't know
street.
if you've seen, some of these are really lovely.
Well, we
Go on
haven't-
in
we
Ocean
have-
City, Maryland.
I would argue
haven't seen
that
it, and that's the
this is
point.
not aesthetically pleasing to anyone, even not in a historic district. There's
Well-
been no attempt to make this aesthetically pleasing.
So with all due respect, I don't think that's the streetscape standard. I think it's more in line with matching what's existing. And I think given the AT&T, which is directly on point, directly exactly the same design, exactly the same context, exactly the same location, as well as all of the other public utility infrastructure in the streetscape. I
So
think it
this
does
is a
match.
new thing for everywhere in the country. And because one has gone up, we may have looked at that and said, oh, we really don't like this. Did we approve this? But that doesn't mean we have to go forward with the same design.
Correct. If we make a mistake once, why would we want to make it 5 more times?
Well,
I'm not aware that we
I
made.
guess our argument is that it's
I'm
not
not
a
even
mistake.
sure.
that
Can I
it's-
put this
And
in
I'll grant it that
context
it's
for a
been
minute?
approved. I don't know how that happened. or
One
where it
person at a time, please.
Go ahead,
Evan?
finish up. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I don't know how that happened or where it happened.
Me neither.
But I think that the objective here, and I just want to make sure you're aware, sitting down and having a hearing in front of us is not the only process we go through. If you're aware of our review committee and the way it functions with respect to consultative meetings, my suggestion would be to go back to the drawing board and propose some alternative structures, alternative means, taken from your catalog or whatever, and come and have a meeting about that before you submit an application.
I thought the review committee did originally approve it, and it was my understanding, I
So-
could be wrong, and I could be wrong about this, so I do apologize if I am. I thought that it was originally approved as a minor installation, and the only reason it was sent back is because there was a determination that it wasn't technically minor, it should have been classified as major, and therefore the planning board should have referred it here. And I could be wrong about that, but that was my understanding.
It sounds like that happened, but you know what? And you brought up the AT&T thing, and look, I'll tell you that the city in 2021 went through a review process to get an ordinance in place for this type of thing. And I drafted that. That's when I came on as solicitor, and that was one of the first things we kind of confronted. The city's aware of the federal regulations promoting the use and deployment of these things. We're aware of the timelines that you all operate under. But in response to that, we're able to put some reasonable framework in place to not lose complete control over the aesthetics of the town. So that ordinance that was in place that led to your conditional use permit application was not an accident, and it was well thought out, and there was a lot of review and thought that went into it. And, you know, the wireless people didn't like it when it came out too, and we didn't get in a lot of applications, but now we're getting them. So I would say this about the, you're here, thank you for coming. But this discussion that we're having now is not one that I recall us having for the last 2 years. And I don't know that it's happened a lot in the past, but it should. And the reason for that is it's a condition of your conditional use approval, which you guys didn't ask for a variance. You went to the planning board, not the zoning board. So you're going to comply with all these conditions. One of the conditions is for poles or small wireless facilities to be installed or placed within the historic preservation district, planning board or zoning board may refer the proposed design for comment to the historic preservation unless and until the historic preservation promulgates uniform design standards for such facilities, which shall be incorporated herein by reference once adopted pursuant to that process. If we had a uniform design standard page for this type of thing, we'd pluck it out. You guys probably wouldn't be here, and that would have been a review committee, go to the planning board. But what we do have is we have mechanical systems are an intrusive feature. What do we do with that? So we have to manage that. And we have to manage that against your, you know, the need and the federal regulations that say we should put these things everywhere. So we're trying, like the chairman said, we're trying to marry the two right now. I don't think they're irresolvable, and that's why we drafted the ordinance to force this conversation, to have, you know, public volunteer citizens that are serving the town, engaged in the process, talk to folks like you and come up with a solve that's specific to the town. And all I've heard is board members pointing to examples of you guys solving this problem elsewhere, and we're asking for that to happen here because we do care about the visual aesthetics of the town. And matching to an existing pole, you know, if we see cedar shakes on a building, let's stick with cedar shakes. But we don't want poles. We're trying to get rid of them. So we're trying to solve that. And that's why you're not hearing no. We're not saying no. But we want to hear, I think, some problem solving on the design of it. And we're recognize that there's a need out there. But some towns probably, these things, I'm sure you pull a construction permit in other towns and you don't even have to go through this rigmarole. But this is a special town that cares about the aesthetics, so we have to go through it. So that's what we're asking for, I think.
Yeah,
Not to speak for the board, but.
I think my comment was more along the lines that we did receive an HPC approval.
I know.
It wasn't that we didn't come. I just want to make clear that, and it wasn't that we didn't check your regulations. We did look for the design standard, which I believe hasn't been adopted yet, and we tried to follow.
There's no criticism of you
Yeah,
guys
no,
following
okay, I just want to
the
make
process.
sure
And
that was
I'm
clear.
explaining to you why,
No, I get
why
it.
there's been some back and forth
And we're
here.
trying to explain that we tried to follow, we followed obviously the conditional permit requirements that you said you drafted and put in place, and we thought they were reasonable. We followed it. We met all the requirements with respect to height, setback, location, all that. We tried to follow the design of, the functionally equivalent competitor that had been approved with the identical design. We tried to follow the same streetscape design, particularly in 3 cases where like for like, replacing a wood utility pole and adding some additional equipment. No different than if you look at the electric company's transformers, which are significantly more visible and aesthetic. We don't have any external wires from pole to pole. Our wiring is underground or on the pole. So we tried to follow what we thought was the existing condition of the streetscape, and that's what I just was trying to respond to that it wasn't that we didn't try and come to your committee. We actually did get a stamped approval, which sent us to as part of our, planning board process.
Yeah, I think what Mr. Testa was suggesting is, we have this really wonderful thing that we do here in Cape May. Every Tuesday morning, representatives of this commission meet with the public. Anybody who wants to come and speak with us, there are 4 appointments between 9 and 11. Folks come before us, bring their ideas. A couple of the applicants tonight had done that in the intervening period between last month and this month. And we hopefully create a design partnership together so that you can accomplish what it is you're trying to accomplish and we can accomplish what it is we're trying to accomplish. In other words, reconcile these two ostensibly opposing forces. So we would like to invite you to come and do that. I think that's where Mr. Testa was.
Yeah, of course, and because we usually come up with, probably 75% of the time, we come up with solutions that are acceptable and come in front of us in a really quick review, which we found is a relatively new process, and it is extremely helpful. I just don't think there hasn't been the benefit of doing that here. We've just been presented with.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're hearing it from us for the first time this evening because we didn't have these conversations. And boy, I wish we would have. That way we wouldn't be kind of at loggerheads tonight. I don't know what we're going to do with these, but I would.
I know what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to vote to table them.
Well, that's actually where I was headed. So, Mr. Solicitor, could you explain what tabling means, please?
Well, I think their attorney.
I think he's had a
probably-
lot of experience with it.
Yeah, I think what we probably need to hear from the applicant, though, is what would be the purpose? What are we tabling this for? Do they want to maybe propose something that is not before us tonight that's alternative to this? Or do they want us to vote on this tonight? I mean, I think what you're hearing is that we would like to have, the HPC would like to have that conversation and not just go to a vote on this tonight. We'd rather have a discussion about what this could look like, not what it looks like now in the plans. And that's nothing against, you guys looked at the conditional use standards and went in there, but unfortunately, there hasn't been a standard promulgated. This is probably going to lead to what that will be, and these applications may be more streamlined in the future, maybe not, but that's the conversation the HPC wants to have. What does the applicants have to say?
So it's highly likely that our next version of the standards will address this directly. These were written and approved in September of 2023, so they're 2.5 years old.
Let me say something about that, though. Just because we don't have a specific page for this type of thing doesn't mean we're just like in the Wild West.
Correct.
We have a bunch of things to draw from. Intrusive features, mechanical equipment. We don't want to see this kind of stuff in the public way. That's the starting point. We don't have a specific page, but there's tons of resources in there already for the HPC to make a judgment call on what has been presented tonight. Or we could have a problem-solving conversation with the applicant in review and try and come up with a collaborative solution to that, which I think sounds like the HPC's preference. But again, what does the applicant like to do in response to that? And you could take a minute.
Could we have 2 minutes to speak outside?
Yes.
So why don't we take how about a 10-minute break? Would that be good for you guys?
Fine with us, and
Is 5 okay, or do you want 10?
5 is fine.
All right, so why don't we reconvene at 8:15? So we'll
Thank
take a short break.
Sounds good.
Okay. What's that? Yeah. That's his homework. Yeah. I know. It really is. Yeah. They're not taking us very seriously. Yeah, we do this everywhere. Who are you? You know, I was like, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's different, but still, it hides a lot. Your eyes get hit on the lights up there, which is nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Search for that. It had me in his name. And just said, what do you consider Now, that's more.
John seems more likely to want it.
from a particular town?
No, that's my summer.
Oh, it's your summer?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Could you send this to me, please?
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying,
So did you see this?
I did not.
Yeah. It's their company. I went to these guys have, that's like their company.
But obviously,
They are.
They have never been challenged. They just come in and they go for the. I'm just,
No, thank you.
I did that work.
yeah.
Think we're gonna make it?
Yeah.
What a difference.
Oh, we're gonna make it.
It's gonna make to her plan. She's already got 4 years.
Yeah, some people like running. Yeah, I was.
It's already in the side yard, so now she's getting more parking.
Young lady can make it.
I have, my niece works weddings for her in that building. She said that building was never gonna work for weddings. She said that she had tables in the front. People who were staying in the rooms had to come past the wedding guests, go in and out of the room. Then she moved all the wedding guests to the basement to dance. She said it was a night.
It's not really great.
She said it's not workable. And she said she talked to her about it.
It could work as a restaurant.
I think it would be very similar to the Brown.
Spaces.
Yeah.
Lose, nice, let's call it boutique hotels. Because we're not calling it anything, we're calling it anything else. I hate to lose that. You know, I'm hoping it's like kids.
No, thank you.
I just, in fact, I even thought about Barcelona, Madison, and Washington. My wife said, have you looked in the mirror lately? You're old. Because I think that's the trend. It's just, it's a new way. It was like 30 years ago, Tom, you had the first big move. I had one.
Longer go to the back.
Yeah, back in the 70s. You know, and it was, but everything changes. The name changes and the economy.
People are always asking, what happened with these businesses? I've never seen anything in this country stay the same.
You can kind of mimic it, but you're not going to stay the same. You have to just change it to make it what's happening today.
Maybe in 20 years, nobody will look on a cruise ship. Then what are we gonna do?
I don't want to go on now.
What are we gonna do with all those things?
Reefs, artificial reefs. But yeah, it's a tough thing.
Yeah, they keep putting it up, taking it off, putting it up, taking it off.
No, it's not, but it's down.
So we can come
So we're not gonna be here for race So we need,
Thank you.
Okay, calling the meeting back to order. It's 8:17, and we'll give you the floor. Oh, Tom. Where's Tom?
He's going as fast as he can.
Thank you. We'll wait for another 2 minutes, if you could, please, because I think he needs to hear what you have to say. So, thanks.
How's the game going?
Well, 0-0, I think. Yeah, it's still 0-0.
Penguins and Flyers? You know where I'm from, right?
Yeah, I don't even care.
Yeah, you don't.
Once you're from Pittsburgh, you're always from Pittsburgh. You're always from Pittsburgh.
Terrible towels.
Steel man.
I was going to send my friend, who lives on Columbia, Pittsburgh.
I had to live there when I did the steel mill deal in the early 80s, let me tell you. I could tell you where all the traffic lights were. And when they changed them. For 20 years, I thought I could save the U.S. steel industry. What did I learn?
This is how important it is. What's the stop every week before you came back?
All right, Mr. Carroll.
Okay. We could proceed now, please.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We appreciate your time and consideration tonight. You have perfectly capable counsel, so I'm not going to get into a lot of legal details, but there are certain federal shot clocks, timeframes that these applications have to be decided on. There's certain issues with respect to the record. So what we would like to ask in conjunction with your request is to adjourn this to a date certain to next month's meeting, with the understanding that we're extending the FCC shot clock until that date. And one of the other things that we would like to request is a copy of any documentation regarding the locations of the areas where the utility poles are proposed to go underground, because you asked us about alternatives. And if we knew those locations, I don't think that information's on the record. So we'd like to know it, so as part of looking at alternatives, we could understand where you're proposing to put the utilities on the ground. If you have that information, we would respectfully ask for that. And that would be it. And we would just like a date certain on next month's meeting. If we can muster up the opportunity to present some alternatives and come and discuss it with the committee, we'll avail ourselves of that as well in a collaborative effort.
So 2 comments on that. I don't know, and Lorraine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not going to be the source for this information, but I don't know if we have some like log of where this is going to be proposed. However, what I would say is we can certainly liaison ourselves to the city manager's office and, encourage you and them to discuss that issue. And if that information is available, they might just have that in the form of an email to you guys. And I would encourage them to share that information with you because it'll be helpful for this discussion. The second thing is, I appreciate your confirming waiver of the shot clock to get to next month's meeting. And we have, just to confirm, we have every Tuesday or?
Yeah.
Every Tuesday.
It should certainly be within the.
Every Tuesday between 9 and 11.
So if you wanted to come in.
That'd be great.
In the interim.
Yeah, that's our, if things work out, that's what we would do. If for some reason, we'd like to be on the next month, so I'd like to know that date tonight, so I could write it down.
May 19th?
Next
No.
meeting schedule, Lauren?
Hold on, I have it right here.
It'd be May 18th.
May 18th, yep,
May 18th, okay, great.
at 6 PM.
So we would table this until May 18th. We'd extend the FCC shot clock. We will attempt to gain information on where the undergrounding is proposed to help us in our alternative analysis, and we'll be back in touch.
So the only comment is if you would like to meet with us on Tuesday morning, all you need to do is contact our secretary and just make an appointment with her.
Who's great, by the way.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you. So we need a motion.
So I'll make a motion to table, and that will be until the next meeting, and I assume that that does not involve our 45-day waiver period, because we're simply doing this within 30 days.
This is under a different timeline anyway, these applications. So he's waiving the federal shot clock.
Which is the time period for this?
Which is 90 days, so
90?
we're adjourning it till May 18th. 'cause-
That's terrific. I'll make a plain motion to table until next meeting.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
So moved by Mr. Testa, seconded by Mr. Carroll. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll,
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson,
Yes.
Ms. Decker,
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand, Mr. Kurtz, Mr. Testa,
Yes.
Mr. Becker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time and patience with us this evening.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you on a Tuesday morning soon.
Certainly within the next 3 Tuesdays.
By the way, some great places for breakfast in Cape May, just saying. Yeah.
Where are you coming down from?
Ah, okay.
Then you know Cape May already a lot.
Yeah.
They have scrapple too, so you'll be.
Oh, I would say the luncheonette at Lobster House. Yeah, Lobster House Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'll meet a lot of interesting people there.
Or Ocean View or Blue Pig. Yeah,
George's?
yeah. Okay. So, next on our agenda, please. Crown Castle Fiber LLC. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ooh. Nicholas Mitch, Art Zulik, 240 Windsor Avenue. So did you enjoy those conversations?
I did, actually.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And so could you please state your name and your role in the project?
Sure. Nicholas Mitch, owner 240 Windsor Ave.
The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you for your time this evening. I'd like to put a spiral staircase in the rear of the property, connecting the first floor deck to the second floor deck.
Pretty straightforward. Okay.
Can I kick in here?
Please kick it off, Mr.
So
Cameron.
this was a project that was reviewed at our small group. He came to us, we, I think, felt that it had to come up here to the full commission. I would just add that in the review, we were talking about visibility. I mean, that was the key issue, was this, visible from the streetscape. It's not at all visible from the front of the house. It's entirely in the back of it. However, it sits at a corner of, I think it's Congress and Park. Is that
It's
more or
Park.
less
You can
where
see it from Park and
Park and
from
Grant.
Grant.
Park
Yeah.
and Grand, sorry.
Yeah.
The two streets kind of go like this. The house sits on this one. So if you turn the corner, there is a window between a couple of trees where you can actually see it. What I would say, I guess, having driven past it myself, just in order to see whether it was visible or not, it's a very narrow window, and it is, I guess the best way I could describe it is if you look to it, it's kind of a busy area. There's a bunch of shrubs, there's some porches, there's the two decks in the proposed place. I don't think you would argue that adding the staircase is very obtrusive, because there's so much going on in that window anyway, and I think that was kind of the assumptions we had at the small group.
Had this just been in the back, we probably would not have brought it before the full commission, but it is visible from both Park and Grant.
Right.
So that's why we recommended it come before us. Judy, have you any comments or questions?
Object to it. What color will it be?
I'm open to that, black or silver.
So that is a question. So in your submission, it says that it's galvanized?
Yeah.
But there are 5 places in our standards that say unpainted metal is not appropriate, so
Okay.
will you be painting it?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's a good answer.
Well, that's okay, because it's going to.
I think I remembered when you came in for your decks, right? You did the decks a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Are they stained? I mean, are they?
No,
They're not, they're just natural wood?
just natural.
So, I mean, would you be amenable to painting it some kind of compatible color that will, so, it's not
Blend in
purple
with
or
the
red or black?
decks. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right, thank you, that's all I have.
Jake?
I agree with Ms. Decker. Same thing, I'm concerned about the color.
I think this has 2 features. One, it's necessary to get from one level to the other, and the spiral staircase is the only way to do it. And recognizing that there is no place where this is probably not able to be seen, it is minimally visible, given all the other factors involved in it. So I think it's acceptable, and I think it ought to be painted. Color choice being yours.
Okay.
I'm all for it. as much as I don't like black on all exteriors, which is getting a little bit popular, when you're putting it on a metal like that, a little bit of rust that slowly appears can kind of blend in, which it doesn't do very well with any lighter color.
Okay. I agree, but as far as painting, I don't want you to get a brush out and paint it powder coated.
Yeah. Powder coated, yep.
Yeah,
That would be
so-
best, yep.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to have scratches, and there are also some really nice surfaces. I just put a spiral staircase in, and it actually has the wood on the treads, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But just some alternatives that you can possibly look at to make it more aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
But
That was my only question, the treads. I mean, you probably needed metal for support, but wood treads, you're not going to put a wooden spiral staircase.
No. Because it,
Yeah. Okay.
So, do we want to entertain a motion for Mr. Mitch?
I'll make the motion that the application be approved with a painted, a surface, or powder coated, and the option open to have wood treads.
So moved by Mr. Carroll, seconded by Mr. Kurtz. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Yes.
Mr. Testa?
yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Hey, you got out of here by 8:30. Impressive.
Well, thanks for the entertainment. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
That's the best free entertainment in town, huh?
Yeah. Okay. So we are
At 5.
at Pisagno at 518 Bank Street. This is a demolition application, and then a second one for new construction. So we need to go through the demolition one first.
Okay.
Our solicitor is recusing himself from these proceedings. Okay. Please state your name and your role in the project.
Marcelo Mogavera, I'm the contract purchaser. We're going to wind up seeking a use variance for that parcel, and in doing so, we are going to,
So with regard to the demolition, which is the first application,
yeah.
Mr. Magavera, we need your testimony that the demolition complies with the first 7 of those conditions.
Okay, and I was just giving the background of why
Fair
I
enough.
proposed to demo it.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, it's not historic. Its current potential use for the purpose, its current potential use for those purposes currently permitted by the chapter are these proposed. It's important to the municipality, I can't speak to that. I mean, it's.
You're going to have to speak to each of those
Okay.
pieces.
The structural soundness, I'm going to go backwards, what I know fastest, if that's easy, if that's okay with you. So the structural soundness and integrity of the building and feasibility for rehab, I've never done a structural assessment, but I've been in it, and it doesn't seem unsound. So I don't think that's a problem. The impact of its removal upon the historic district, I think what I'm proposing is going to be much more amenable to you than what is there now. I think the retention would not increase the property value. In fact, I think it's detracting compared to what I'm going to propose. I think the craftsmanship, the extension, I don't think the building's uncommon. I mean, I think it is uncommon in the design, but it's not uncommon in the likes of the HPC. Because what I'm going to propose is going to be pretty much exactly what the whole board wants.
Yeah, this is a non-contributing building that you're talking about.
Built in 1988, correct. It's important to the municipality, and extent with historical architecture, I think is 0.
Right.
I mean, it's an 88, and it's a commercial building. Potential use currently permitted by this chapter. Its current potential use for the purpose currently permitted by this chapter. It's used for office space. I'm not going to use it for office space. I'd like the streetscape of Bank Street, and I've done a house on Bank Street for a homeowner, historical renovation. came out beautiful. They obviously came before this board, and you guys allowed them to let me do what I did there, and that's what I'm going to propose. So in speaking to the current use, I think the use that I'm going to propose will, I have to tear the building down to make this board more amenable to what I want. The cultural and aesthetic significance, historic, I think it has none. I think it is, I mean, from my viewpoint, built in 1988, I mean, that makes us all historic. I mean, it's not a historic-looking building, it's a commercial-looking building. I don't think it has that value. I mean, you would say the building speaks for itself in terms of its appearance. Yeah, I don't think there's much historic value in the appearance of it, especially considering directly across the street, which is residential. All those houses have historical significance and aesthetically, and especially the one I did and a couple of the other ones I saw that are closer down towards lanes, or I forget the cross-section.
Get through all 7?
That's all 7.
Okay, so I have a question.
Okay?
Do you currently own this property?
No.
Okay, so if we were to approve this demolition, it would only be under the condition that you gain title to the property as its owner,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
So, I mean, is this under contract? Yes, sir. At this point? So you just haven't closed on it? Correct. So, no, and that's, they said that giving your blessing would be a much more suitable application for the, That's what we give. Well, for the, I'm going to need a use variance, because it's I think it's C5 going to an R3. Yeah, and I'd like to make it replicate the R3, which is directly across the street.
So his application after the demolition is for conceptual?
Yeah. Yep. And they told me it would behoove me to come together, but I had applied, I think, a day staggered, and that's why it's under 2, not combined, unless that's just how you do it.
Okay, so do we have a motion for approving demolition under the condition that ownership be retained by
Obtained.
Mr. McGarvero?
Obtained, yeah.
Obtained, yes.
We can't give you permission to demolish somebody else's property.
Correct.
Okay?
Not yet.
That's the real point.
Yeah. Do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion for
So moved by Mr. Kurtz, seconded by Mr. Testa. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerin?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz? Mr. Testa?
Yes.
Mr. Becker?
Yes. Motion passes. Now we move on to also 518 Bank Street. Mecca Investment LLC.
Is that you too?
Yes.
Okay.
The floor remains
Okay,
yours.
so as I've said before, I'm under contract to buy the 518 Bank Street. I call it the Commons, having grown up here and seen it that way. I'd like to propose a residential use to R3 and to essentially replicate and conform to everything in the R3 zone. I've given 3 elevations as suggested by the board to at least get more than 1 last time I was here. And the floor plan essentially stays the same inside. I think we did 10-foot ceilings on the first floor and 9 on the second, which I think add to, not that you can see them aesthetically, which you folks really govern, but I think it'll add to the historical nature of the building when you do enter the building, okay? I do like I prefer the ones, if I'm going to conform, with the ones with the shutters. And if the elevations that don't have shutters will fit them, I'd prefer to do that, just to keep with this. Yes, yeah.
A4-3 is slightly different. I have 2 that are
A4-2 is, yeah.
Yeah, all three.
Yeah, oh, good, all right, they do. Yeah, they do. He did it.
Yeah, all 3 are different.
1, 2, and 3?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so they all have shutters on the front, okay. At least 3 different styles, just so, because we had spoken about, I came with 1, and then we talked about the 7 Sisters, because I'm going to buy a parcel and probably do,
So you're just proposing to build 1 house at this
Well, I'm proposing the design of 3 different houses if I have the option to build one of the 3 different houses.
But you're not talking about picking one of these and all 3 would look alike.
Well, the floor plan will.
Yeah, the floor plan.
Yeah.
But the exterior.
The
you're gonna
exterior,
have
correct.
some treatment for.
One of these, is that what you want?
Well, if it's going to, because,
I'm as confused now as you.
all right, so I'm
Hold
going
on, I think I can clarify this. You are subdividing this property into 3 separate lots. is that
Correct.
Correct? So we have a little bit of a technical problem here.
Okay.
Because once it's subdivided, we need a separate application for each of the 3 lots.
Correct.
So what we
Yes.
could do this evening is we could slightly modify this and approve conceptually for 1 lot.
okay, I understand.
That we can do. Okay? Unfortunately, we can't approve them from all 3 lots because
Doesn't
technically
exist
that
right now.
requires 3 separate applications.
Okay.
And the subdivision hasn't happened yet,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to have to come back here anyway for
Oh, you are.
final.
No, you'll be seeing us again.
oh, yeah, yeah, no question.
Listen, I'm not a cell tower, I'm good.
Right. So,
I'm going to buy 1, and somebody else is going to buy 2, and I'm going to subdivide it, and I'm going to put, I think I'd like to move into 1. The reason I'm buying an LLC is so I have the capability of selling the other one in an entity.
okay, so which of these lots would you like to, 0.02, 0.03, or 0.04?
Probably, well, unless you want me to look up the exact one, unless you have it closest to the building on the left, facing Bank Street, the Dagmar's building, Homestead, yeah. I can look it up if you want an
So
exact.
I don't have the site plan.
You understand what we're saying, right?
I do.
Each one of these
Lot
has to have
two.
a whole separate application.
Understood.
Yep.
So we're going to deal with your choice of buildings on a lot that you choose and talk about it for conceptual approval.
Okay, am I allowed to speak about a specific lot since it's not torn down yet, though? I can't, I'm just asking.
Choose a
Yes,
lot.
yes,
Okay,
you may.
Okay.
So here's the issue.
Yep.
It's not legally defined as a lot yet because you have to subdivide it, but pick one.
Okay.
Right?
Fair enough. Yeah, because I think they have legal descriptions and law. I guess it doesn't, until the building comes down, it's not defined. Defined. I'm going to go with sorry, I got my glasses on. A2, A42, sorry.
A42, okay.
Okay, I'm looking for a site plan that depicts which lot this is.
It was in the previous.
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you. Sure. Oh, no, but that only has 2 lots instead of 3.
Okay.
So I'm looking for, so which one of these do you, so,
I don't have it in front of me, I'm sorry. I thought, let me see if I have it in this packet.
so the site plan.
Is that the one to the
site plan that we have only
east, most
depicts 2
easterly?
lots.
Yeah, I think they all are.
Yes.
Yeah, but this one is the entire.
Oh, there we go, okay, great.
This was in the previous application.
Okay, thank you.
So I think it's this one that you're looking at, 2.04.
And yes.
So that would be the.
That would be
the
the left one.
southernmost lot,
The left one.
the southernmost lot.
Yep,
Great.
2041, it looks like.
yeah.
2.04, okay, great.
It's like playing Monopoly.
I'm sorry, did you say 1041?
2.04.
So, just to clarify, which I think I do understand, I can't have conceptual for the zone. It has to be specific to the lot, that house, that lot.
Specific to the lot.
Understood, okay.
And the reason for that is because each one of these lots will require a specific application because it's
Yeah,
tied to
that's
the.
That's what Judy said. Okay,
I just
understood.
wanted to point out, too, if I get .041 and then 2.042 as on these two.
Got it. So it's 2.041. Thank you.
One would be the
Thank you,
southernmost,
Thank you,
yeah.
thank you. Okay, thank you.
Did you get the lot, the actual lot numbers from the county yet?
From the tax assessor.
You did?
That's whatever's on there was given to me, I think his name's, is it Patrick? What's his name? The gentleman up in, he's here. He emailed me.
Downstairs? or-
Bruce?
No, no, the gentleman in there, the tax,
Tax assessor,
So
Yeah.
that tax assessor, that would be.
he's the one who has to give it to me, right?
Right, he was the-
generally, yeah.
All right, so you're just looking at for feedback on these, one of these.
Well, conceptual approval.
Well, he's chosen 4.2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Understood.
All right, well,
Comments on 4.2.
I'll go first, if you don't mind.
Please?
I like the simple design of your houses. I went to look at the one across the street. This is my least favorite one.
I know, is that the one I chose?
These are both pretty
won't be playing the lottery on the way
traditional,
home.
simple Gothic. These are both very simple Gothic Victorian designs. You've got the little Gothic window in the gable. This is my favorite one because this is the one we have all over Cape May.
I can't see that one.
This is the one with-
Single gable?
with the simple, it has the cross gable.
4.2?
No, 4.3.
Yep.
4.3 is a
Okay.
real typical, simple Gothic.
Yep. It has the cross.
Yeah.
So the only real difference is you don't like the double gable.
No, the double these are okay, too. This is seen more sort of in colonial houses.
Oh, I see.
But
You
this
know what
is,
she
this
means
is,
by cross
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gable?
Yep.
It means that what's facing the street actually has both a Gothic gable, but the roof is actually sloping toward, the main roof
Yeah,
is
yeah.
actually sloping towards
Yeah.
the street. So
Yeah, it's got,
it's
it's.
running parallel to the
Yep,
street.
I got
well,
you.
they're all side gables.
So the ridge runs, ridge runs parallel to the street is what you
Yeah,
like?
this is just,
That's true.
this is a very typical design for Cape May. We have.
Then I'm going to change my vote to 4.1.
I think that's a good move.
I think that's a solid move, and
Can I phone a friend? I'm going to call Judy.
Just call Judy.
I mean, 4.1's okay.
I do like that. I see what you're saying with the ridge parallel to the street. It makes sense.
It's a nice, simple house. I really
simple.
like it. We
Yeah.
see so many complex designs
Yeah.
here, and the vast majority of our houses, not our spectacular houses, but simple houses look like this.
Yeah.
But we'd like to see some variety. in the
Yeah, a little
three
variety.
houses, you know, just because one seems to be Judy's favorite.
Yeah, I don't want to do the Seven Sisters. I don't,
no, I mean,
yeah.
this
They
is
don't all
nice,
have to
too.
be a little Gothic
I agree.
cottage. There could be some Italianate or a little bit of mission and, you know.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Tom, but what I planned on doing, and I don't know if we go on hypotheticals here, I had met with Kevin and John preliminarily a while back, and I'm not really going to ask you for anything more than your input. Like, like what I mean by that is a heavy lift. I'm not here to be obtrusive. Like, I live here, I grew up here. I want to build what I'm going to build that meets what you want. I'm going to give you the materials. I'm going to give you, if the design, to me, it doesn't matter which way the ridge goes. Like, my wife might have a say in it, but right now she doesn't. So with that said, when I build another one, I want to build what you guys want. I'm not here to ask for anything that you're not going to like. Too many.
And I think the advice we gave him at the small group is really just try to tie it in with the other,
Yeah.
other houses that are on Bank Street. That's your streetscape. You want to try to, make it look like.
I had done an AI representation of what that streetscape looks like with the houses on the left and it's unbelievable. You wouldn't even know it was Bank Street.
Are they going to be in color, or are they going to be just plain old cedar siding?
Well, I mean, we can get cedar in color, so I don't think it matters. As far, when I say it doesn't matter,
I think it matters to the streetscape. If you have 3 or 4 new houses there, and you're all brown.
I personally don't, I know, like I said, having grown up here, I've seen, I'm glad you brought that up, Yogi, because I don't like, when I do a house for a homeowner, because I own a construction company, when I put the cedar on and it's nice and like yellow cedar, it's beautiful. I don't really like when it gets brown. I know that's part of Cape May, but I don't like it. I did a house a while back on Kearney Street. It was like a greenish, not that I need that color, but all I'm saying is the color really brought out the Cape May in the house. So I'm absolutely fine with putting color on. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. I mean,
It's just to make the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Yeah.
in your own little neighborhood.
yeah, no,
All look like.
no, that's a good idea, because I wouldn't want 7 brown houses, or 6, 5, 2, 3, whatever brown houses. That's a good idea.
There are some historic houses in town, like the Seven Sisters and Gurney
Yeah.
Street, that are unique because they're identical in Victorian
Yeah.
time, and they've stayed that way. But down near the Fisherman's Memorial, a whole new row of houses have gone in recently that are all look-alike, same plan, It just looks like a cheap development.
I see.
You couldn't even
Yeah.
vary anything to.
So you're saying if you're not going to make them identical, give it make it different?
Like it
Which
didn't all
only,
develop at the same
which only benefits me to do anyway.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to buy a house with one right next to it that's identical.
Then you don't have your own KMA house, you have.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next door's house.
Yeah.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
Tom, those houses
Yeah.
that are built,
Yeah.
it's a shame because they're beautiful inside, but when you ride by.
It's total cookie cutter block.
Yeah.
Army barracks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
We're
that
out
makes
of the
sense.
historic district, so we
Nice
didn't have
army
any say.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. I didn't
We're out
do
there
that.
wiping.
For
Yeah, it wasn't me.
for
we're not
purposes.
mentioning any addresses
For
here, though, right?
purposes
So-
of what you're moving ahead with, I just wanted to comment on your materials sheet. You have a lot of good stuff
Yeah.
that's going in, and this is, of course, is new construction.
Yeah.
You're not constrained to the contributing list we have, but a lot of the things you're using here are great.
What I
So-
wanted to ask you, I'm glad you brought that up, and I apologize for interrupting.
Can I just finish for a second, though?
You can. I have a.
So as you get to the bottom of your materials list, you keep making references over to things that we would approve. And I would just say, finish the bottom of your material sheet the way you started the top, which is tell us exactly what it is you propose to use. And when you get around to it, give us a cut sheet that references from the material sheet to the cut sheet.
Yeah.
Okay, and because the sort of per site plan approval doesn't do anything for us, right? It's got to say what it is material you're attempting to use.
Which
okay?
comes full circle to you anyway. I have to give you what you want.
No, but don't tell us you're going to give us what we want. Give us something and let us.
Well, for the
comment
final
on it.
submission.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, no.
So that's one point. And the other thing I wanted to say is having chosen, I won't call it Judy's house, but having chosen a house,
I might name it Judy.
having chosen a house.
Wants to buy one, huh?
I agree that this is the best of your three designs. It also
I didn't have my glasses on when I picked
It
it.
also looks like something that wasn't done on a CAD/CAM exercise because it's simple enough.
Yeah.
And so I would not change in terms of commenting on the facade and the look of the house. I think it has good proportions. It looks like a really fine approach for a modern, smaller house.
Thank you.
And we also love to see these kind of renditions.
I can, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I didn't just want to spend that much money and maybe get a no. I'm just kidding, I'll get it for you.
So I agree, the modest cottage
Yeah.
that Judy has selected, 4.1's close second. with-
Yes, oh, yeah.
So,
Even the third one, we have a model on the.
right, it's right over there.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I'm not hearing any objections, so I would love to entertain a motion to approve this conceptually for the southernmost lot using the elevation on drawing A 4.3.
Yes, I need to make that motion.
Do I have a question first?
Yes.
4.3 or 4?
You are, I know you probably,
4.3, this one.
Oh, okay.
I think you answered this twice already, but you can't approve HPC for the area, for the whole, what I'm going to do, because you I'd have to bring 7 applications, correct? So when I go before the board for the zoning, my lawyer's going to have to explain that. Obviously, well, I don't know who the lawyer's going to be, but whoever it's going to be is going to understand that we're going to have to come before you at least twice after that anyway.
For all 3 lots, yes.
For your final.
Correct, okay, fair enough, thank you.
Right?
Yep.
So I would suggest that it's highly likely that since this particular conceptual approval applies to 4.041,
3.
that doing a similar home on 2.042 and 2.043 would also likely be conceptually approved.
Understood, all right, thank you.
Or there is an alternative, and that is get your conceptual approval.
You could do that.
Get your planning board approval.
Yes.
Subdivide, delineate your lots, come to us for final with the first one we've given you conceptual on, and provided that you haven't deviated a great deal, you might try for final on the
all
other
3.
two.
Yeah.
Perfect,
It's a great
thank you.
idea.
Okay,
Procedurally, that would probably be your best choice.
expeditious, okay.
And originally you said you were going to ultimately go for 5?
Well, so what's there, you want to make God laugh, tell me your plans, right? That's
I know
so.
that, yeah.
So my plan is that I'm going to buy one, subdivide it. I'd like to move into one and sell one. I'm a real estate developer and a builder. The other two are going to be purchased by someone else and do the same thing. But but I don't know if he's
Three
moving.
lots developed out of that.
Correct.
Yeah, and what I said to you probably makes sense if you're doing them in close order of time.
Yes, understood.
Obviously, it's
Yes.
stretched out.
No, it makes sense.
You're not going to have that advantage.
Okay.
Like, would it make more, like, would it make sense to have all three of them the same design, or vary
I
them a
think we're
bit?
saying that we want them to be different.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, good.
So I'm going to get 7 full construction sets of drawings with very different but equally as amenable to what you want houses.
Well, no, you're going to get 3.
I said
for each
7.
lot.
I don't know why I said 7.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause you're
I'm
thinking
stuck
way
on
in
the
the
7
future, that's
sisters.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I will move
Throwing it in there.
for conceptual approval
Okay.
of this project on the southernmost lot with, that would be 2.041, using the elevation depicted on drawing 4.3. Do I hear a second?
Was it 3 or 2?
4.3.
Okay.
So moved by Mr. Becker, seconded by Ms. Decker. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Carroll?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Ms. Decker?
Yes.
Mr. Hammerand?
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz?
Double gable.
Mr. Testa?
It was-
Yes.
No, it was.
Mr. Becker?
Yes,
4.1, not 4.3.
thank you. No, 4.3.
4.3 is the
4.3.
conceptual approval.
I thought I thought it was 4.1.
4.3.
Fair enough.
Yep. Okay,
Thank
so,
you.
folks, if you could please, before you leave. the-
Not me?
No.
No, you're
fine. Everybody else. So, guys, before you leave, if you could take your application for the Shell Cottage and for O'Connor and put them up here someplace easy. Oh, here are the steps. That way we can reuse them for next month.
Okay.
What about all these cell tower things? You think those are going to come back?
I suspect, I would hold on to them, but I suspect that they're going to change
Yeah, they're going to change.
significantly. Yes,
On the cell tower,
yeah.
those different poles, lights, whatever, that you have. Are they totally against that? I mean,
They didn't say one way or the other.
because that's the only thing that's actually made. I don't know.
Well, that was the point of that whole discussion.
you
We'll
could-
see what they come back to us
I was
with.
waiting for them to say, well, this is what we're gonna do. We have this ordinance, hey, we don't want a pole, we want it to look like.
Well, you've seen the standards. We have the ability to judge it relative to our standards. It will require a vote, rational vote by us, but Yogi, I don't think that they would be coming back if they proposed to stick where they were, right?
Okay, so folks, seeing that there's nobody in the audience for public comment, it appears as if we have none. I only have one item for discussion, and it really is an item that I'm asking both Judy and Lorraine about. If you could just give us a brief update on Historic Preservation Awards?
Well, it would be Jake, because I
And
wasn't,
Jake.
I
Oh,
wasn't
sorry.
at the last meeting.
Great, please.
So the one thing that we decided on, to call it, as far as the leadership awards, Carolyn Pitts was just such an instrumental part of the National Historic Landmark. She did so much research, and what we wanted to do was call it the Carolyn Pitts Leadership Award. That was one thing. Hopefully, nobody has any objections. That was what we came up with at the committee. We're okay with that?
Could you repeat?
Pretty hard to get a more significant name.
I think it's wonderful. No,
The name?
Carolyn Pitts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
The Yogi Kurtz.
no, sorry.
Yeah.
Jake, are we even mentioning who receives leadership? And I think we don't.
These
I
do
think,
not.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Great.
right.
And we have an amazing event scheduled for,
The 13th, it's Wednesday,
Yes.
not a Tuesday,
Yes.
of May.
yes,
And Jake and I already spent time over at the Chalfont. We have all of the banners, an idea of exactly where they're going to be within the Magnolia Room. we're going to go and meet with Ella again, in another week or two, and go over the different accommodations and what they're going to have there. We have a violinist that's going to be playing.
Yay.
For the reception to follow. I've spoken to all of the presenters, and thank you, John, for your suggestion, because she has agreed. Janice, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yes. I honestly think, and I heard only back from a few, I think we might have upwards of 100 to 150.
Beautiful. This is fabulous.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
the press,
The other thing I was thinking of is having there's a book that comes out every month for elected officials, and I'm thinking of getting them possibly to come down and do a feature.
Be great.
So yeah, Exit Zero, but that's going to be the crux of our next meeting, is the outreach.
What's the attire for this event?
you're already where you
Business casual, right? It's kind of a business
I
casual.
think a dinner jacket would be great for you.
Keep thinking.
Wear your bathing suit, Yogi. So, just a reminder that we'll be having a,
Getting an award.
that'd be great.
Tipped off that they.
And guys, just a reminder that we're going to be having a pregame at my house
Just a-
from 5:30 to 6:30. Most of you have responded. I'll contact you each individually who has not yet, but Lisa and I are looking forward to having you. Huh?
120? I told everyone.
Yogi.
First
Thanks,
come,
man.
first served.
Okay, any other comments or questions, folks?
Yeah, I think perhaps it'd be a good idea for the chairman to update us on some timing with respect to the Jacob Jones.
Oh, yes. So I wanted to present that to all of you this evening. Now, all of you have seen it, I believe. Yes? I wanted to present it this evening, but realizing that we actually, earlier this week, we had 17 applications. So I volunteered to remove Jacob Jones to shorten this, and then we had 3 others that dropped off after that, correct?
At least 2.
Or 2, right. So I will be presenting that hopefully at our next meeting. And we'll also be presenting it to City Council at the City Council meeting on May 21st. May 19th, yeah. Yep. Because this next City Council meeting, they're going to be wrapped up with the annual budget. And the one after that, something else of great import.
So it's HPC on the 18th, city council on the 19th. Did I get that right?
HPC, yes.
Yes, that's
Thank you.
Okay, just wanted to keep the 2
That's
dates
just-
straight.
Boy, this is, thank you.
Good.
Any other comments or questions, folks?
About the annual conference.
Oh, yes. Annual conference, folks, is June 17th and 18th in Morristown, the New Jersey Historic Preservation Conference, the annual one that they have every year. And we will be presenting. So Stephen Smolin, myself, and one other person, we'll be presenting 2 different new historic preservation design standards, so that other folks throughout the state can ask questions about how did you go, what was the process you used? And Stephen will be moderating that. Judy decided she didn't want to.
But I agreed to participate. I just don't want to.
Okay.
He's going to include another municipality, so we have a.
He is, correct. So we'll be presenting at 2:30, I believe, on June 18th. So, by the way, it's a really great conference, and there's going to be one session on the morning of the 18th that I think would be really valuable, and that's a flood mitigation session.
Oh, have you seen this?
Yeah, it's on, they're now on the website.
Remember that the HPC budget covers this, if anyone wants to go. Not overnight, but definitely your attendance and your mileage.
You mean the entrance fee and some mileage
Registration fee.
thing,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you
a mileage allowance.
You submit your mileage on a Google sheet. or
And you did
whatever.
say Morristown, in Morris County, right?
Morristown, yes.
Morristown, New Jersey, okay.
Morristown, New Jersey, yep.
Where it was.
By then, mileage will be $5 a month.
It will help Lauren tremendously if you let her know who's going, because then she can register everyone at once.
So I'll send out a reminder about this and give you guys a deadline by which you should register so that Lauren can make the, okay? Thank you. Any other questions or comments before we move to adjourn?
I think we're good for adjournment.
So Penguins.
Flyers are winning too.
I didn't hear,
All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I didn't hear adjournment
Great
yet.
job at the public hearing on the Jacob Jones.
I'm sorry?
You did a really good job on the
Oh,
Jacob
thank you,
Jones
Kevin.
public.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.